But I know a lot of this stuff we can run through and really like hit the highlights, and we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it.
Right. Quick stops.
Yeah.
Sarsar, what up?
That's weird. Y'all swap spots.
Did we?
Yeah, normally Brent's on the left.
Okay, there we go. The AC cut off. I was about to say, Sarsar, that
Whatever.
thing is loud.
It's fucking hot.
Where does this heat blast coming from?
Hurricane.
I feel the same. That's what's bringing it in?
Mm-hmm.
They said this weekend it's supposed to get cooler though.
Hey, you guys are picked up on the mic. Just a FYI, please.
Yeah, what they doing?
School's canceled tomorrow. You
Oh,
saw that,
yeah.
Brent? Yeah.
Let me.
There we are. Yeah, I changed that go live notification to just hey, we're live. It doesn't have a number. It doesn't have a number in it. I'm
No,
tired
it still
of
has
that.
a number.
What? What the fuck? Where's that pulling from?
131.
God damn it. Where's that pulling from? Is that me?
Shit. Nope, that's me.
Yeah, it might be me. My volume.
My volume was up just a little bit too, so I don't know.
I
I
can't even
got it
open
like
my.
right here at the mic.
Can't even open the app because it's like as soon as I open, it's like you have an update and they kick me out.
Time to update. Like Apple does. All right, here we go. Edit stream info. That's what it is, Brant. It's because of damn Twitch. I don't know that many people watch us on YouTube anyways. All right, there we go. 132. Our go live just said something else stupidly. I gotta pull up all this news. Cesar and his Renaissance Fair mug. I'm digging it.
This is actually what I use to drink coffee every morning.
Show it to us. I'm pleased. What are we looking at?
That's my cup of mead.
Cup of mead. Your mead flask.
Never stop drinking.
God, that's a shit ton of news.
Oh man.
We got this. We got this news. These nudes.
I don't really have many games played, so.
Mine is pretty limited as well.
I've only played one game.
Sweet. This will be a news episode then. Get out your nudes. Somehow it got to be like Sunday night and I realized I hadn't posted last week. I was like, fuck. I should be posting the most recent episode closer to the recording of the new one. That sucks. And I was like, all right, here we go. I think I've seen the two Uncharted people that you tagged, Brant. I'm not going to pull that one up. We'll just have to remember it.
It's two different articles, but really you're just pulling them up for the picture, so.
For nudity?
Yeah, I'm aware of the picture.
Everybody's fully clothed.
Cesar?
Yes.
Cesar, did your PS5 accessories ship?
Not yet. Have yours?
I got a controller confirmation from Target.
I saw a lot of unboxings this week.
there was a lot of unboxings.
Yesterday was unboxing PS5s, and today was unboxing Series S and X.
Mm-hmm.
Because
tis the season.
I didn't hear what you say, Richard. You said you got your shipping confirmation
from Target for the controller.
I got everything from Best Buy. It looks like they're not going to ship it to Friday. We'll ship it by Friday, they says.
Until 10:30?
Probably. I don't really care. It's not like I'm going to be able to use it anyways. I mean, I got the charge station from them. I got the camera from them. I got the headset from them. I can probably use that. And I got the media remote
Yeah,
from them.
I know we can't use it. It's just the excitement of stuff like getting out there, you know?
I'll be more excited when they actually ship me the console and I don't get the bullshit like your console's coming a week late.
Or we've reviewed your pre-order. It was pre-ordered in air, so we have canceled it.
Oh, like that GameStop one where everybody's getting screwed?
Yes. Or a GameFly where they reach out to you like, are you sure you want this? Please confirm with your details.
Yeah, you gotta freaking call them. I was like, they gotta strike you off a list. This guy wants it. They were smart, man.
That's some bullshit.
Some people don't look at that shit. It's like, oh, I'm good.
They have like 2-factor authentication on their pre-orders. That sucks, man. All right, I got all the news stories pulled up. I'm struggling tonight, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I gotta be early to work tomorrow and deal with that rain shit on the way.
Same-ish. I'm trying to get out of not going in, but I don't know.
I took it as a win, as when my manager's like, you know what, because all the lunch stuff's happening, you don't have to go in on Tuesday. I'm like, all right, I'll take that, and I won't fight you on Thursday. So,
give and take. Brent, you'll have a rain day. That'll be nice.
Yeah, well, today I was in a symposium, so I didn't. Didn't really.
I had a lot of last-minute setups to assist with the symposia.
And I was very. Charles, a friend of the show, Charles, kept us all entertained. He kept running different figures across the screen, so he had like a.
Nice.
He had like I'll have to mime it with this canned air, but he'd have like this Michael Myers bobblehead just like come in and like just walk across the screen or come up the top, and it's hold it. It's got a little knife, and he'd just sit there and like he had something that looked like a Mr. Hanky at one point, and a little Godzilla, and it like nobody really noticed until he pulled out the little Mr. Hanky, and the guy was talking. He goes, "Oh, and Charles, last name redacted. He's looks like he's having fun down there. He's got some little creature coming across the screen."
Ooh. Figures, right? Redacted.
I want to say, yeah.
I like Symposium. Symposium's my favorite. I had a last-minute request scramble at 3:30 yesterday to assist with the setup for a symposium. Nowhere near where you and I are currently located. Okay. So it was a mad off-site scramble. So you got to appreciate those, right? Those are the best ones. So we have rain tomorrow. Yeah. Maybe I can edit and post before a Sunday.
But I know I got a little bit of a backlog, so I'm going to have to do as much as I can with the rain.
I got you. It's not a total wash, as it were. All right, you guys ready to get rolling?
Might as well.
Rocking and rolling. Rolling and rocking.
Let's go. Oh, welcome, Tyler's girl. I think that's what that spells.
The better version of Jesse's girl.
Tyler. Is there a song associated? Cesar, you want to sing for us?
I don't know if I remember the words correctly.
This person, we assume it's a girl, is also saying they wore their Modern Warfare shirt today as well. Thank you for what, outfit coordinating? It's not color coordinating.
No, you got a Batman thing. What are you wearing, Richard? Yeah.
Me?
No.
Modern Warfare shirt.
Okay, so Brant's got the Batman thing.
Yeah, got Batman.
Brant, what's yours have on it?
It's Van Gogh, Starry Night, but it's Batman. I don't know if you can see that really well.
Okay, I'm digging this. Yeah, I'm digging this.
It was kind of blurry, awesome. So I don't know if you were flashing us or...
that's just Van Gogh at his best. Partial blurry, partial flashing, pure art.
Boom. There
we go.
A little bit better.
We approve. Oh, I actually see Batman in this one. I thought it was a tower at first.
Yeah.
I approve, Brant.
It's a pretty good shirt.
I approve. You may continue wearing that garment the rest of the podcast. You do not have to change this time. No
Well, I
wardrobe
can't go naked.
malfunctions or adjustments.
That's against Cesar's strict rules.
Clothing is
And we
required.
did have a request. Clothing is required. We did have a request, Brent. Our co-game of the year is apparently Ring Fit Adventure. So let's show off these gains we got from Ring Fit Adventure. Let's go.
I will
Let's do
place
it.
the headset down, and I'll never come in this room again. This room is dead to me.
And
I will go out there and I will board
And
this
this
room
was
up.
Cesar's
Yep.
last episode.
I'll board the room up, and the room's dead to me. People ask me what was there, I'm like,
Oh,
no,
man.
there was nothing there.
As soon as I lift up
man,
my
that's
shirt
awesome.
and Cesar sees I have an arrow pointing down and Holy Sword Excalibur written across my abdomen, he'll stay. He'll be all right.
Arrow pointing down. Here we
I
go.
love Konosuba, but I don't love Konosuba that much.
Y'all got the reference. All right, gentlemen, we're ready.
Yep.
As I wing it through this news I halfway paid attention to.
I have not. I appreciate Brent. Did you do all the news? I appreciate it.
Yeah, God's work. God's
I
work.
I
have
did
Brent.
a
Looked at any of it.
good
so
portion of the news.
I'm going in blind with y'all.
I've seen all
threw
of
up
it.
2 stories.
So
I've read every capacity. The only one that caught me off guard was like I went to get my tag, and as soon as I got home, I was like, I guess there was a Nintendo Partner Direct. I don't know how I missed that, but because I looked at all my
Yeah.
notifications, I was like, all right, cool. Now I went to proceed to buy No More Heroes 1 and 2 immediately and spend $35. I probably didn't have, but whatever.
That was
Yeah.
quick.
I was like,
quick.
yeah, this is happening.
Yeah, I guess I'll do
Sure.
this.
I just opened up the.
Wait, you got your tag? I'm supposed to get my tag before you, and I have not yet gotten
Yeah,
my
dude,
tag.
because it's almost November 1st, and I typically get pulled over November 1st as they verify.
I have 2 tags to get. Oh, you're right. Do you know what year it is for emissions? Like what the farthest back you get exclusions for? 3 years? I'm good. Emissions on 1. I'm golden. No connection. You can still edit recent files or create new ones. All right. That's where we're at
But
right now. Okay.
But yes, Richard, I have my my new tag sticker already on my tag, and it's not even November yet. So
Nice. Look at you. You skipped straight from your November 20 didn't even run out, and you straight have November 21.
fuck 20.
What color is it?
Blue.
What color is it? I'll just print one
Yeah,
right
it's
here.
blue. Fuck 2020. I skipped
All
over
right,
the whole
good. I'm
November
printing it
20.
right here.
Yeah.
you just got to get a blue Sharpie and kind of color it in.
That'll work. I think
No, I have blue. I have blue license paper right here.
Oh,
I'm
there
ready
you
to
go.
I just needed the
that
color.
works. Yeah. Just just cover the sticker, put a little sticky note that says I'm legit, and just put it on there.
You don't need to see the tag.
I'm good. That was
Everything is fine
Say-
here. Move along.
Sir,
run
step
your-
out of the car.
as they run your license plates. They're like, he says out here he's good, so I guess we gotta let him go.
He's waving at us, some sort of Jedi thing. We don't know. We're gonna pull him over. We're gonna keep him. We're gonna keep this one.
Sir,
We're not sure what this one is all about.
sir, I need to see your registration. Nah, I'm good. All right. Have a good day.
All right.
I'm fine. I'm fine. You don't need to see my
But
registration.
typically,
Sir,
I do my
Alec
stuff early because I don't have that kind of luck. Somebody always tries me. So, like, what day in November you're born? I'll be like November 1st. I still got 16 days. I'm like,
Sister's out in the streets, always
So-
getting tried.
It could be. As a counterbalance to that, I purchased a tag for one vehicle, and as a social test, I did not apply the sticker on it, and I have driven that vehicle twice a week since then, and it still says November 19. So there may be some truth behind
I don't know. It's neither here or there. I'm just saying this is all from personal experience. I'll leave it at that.
Hey, better be safe than sorry,
Yeah.
right? All right, here we go. Let's get some lead in, and we'll record, and we're ready. You guys
Yep.
set? Everybody urinated?
I will shortly.
That's what I have to check for. Bladder check. 1 to 10. 1 being empty, 10 being wet yourself.
1 now. It might be closer to 10 in about 45 minutes when I finish this coffee.
0.1.
Whoa. Okay, Brant. So you are saying you might have to pee.
0.1.
There's
like
so you're
a
telling me
tiny
there's a
little
chance.
I
There's
went
a chance.
before we started, and I've got a big thing of water. So
Look at you. You're guzzling it right now. That just went up to 1.1.
Oh shit! I left my water downstairs. Oh well. There's no turning back.
All right, let's go record. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 132 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast and the Gulf Coast premier video game, audio and video podcast, YouTube, iTunes, no matter where you find us. We're coming at your ears, we're coming at your eyes, everything. We got you covered. And this week we're covering Ubisoft had a Connect show. There was a garbage take on Nintendo's business model. Well done, Brant. Microsoft looking to stick it to the competition. We'll see what that entails. Nintendo celebrating another limited anniversary. That sucks. First look at Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan from the set of Uncharted. We will have our fresh, hot NOFODcast takes on those two actors. Joy-Cons get a price cut. Destruction All-Stars gets delayed, but with a perk. Assassin's Creed is coming to Netflix. PlayStation Plus update for November has our first PS5 title. Nintendo partner Direct Mini brought some special surprises. Two which Cesar's already taken advantage of. And Halo loses another creative director. I'm Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Brant McKee.
What's up?
And Cesar Concepcion, the second CMC2 himself. Welcome, Cesar.
Present.
Cesar's here and checking his news on the phone. He has your latest and greatest news on his phone coming right over the airwaves and via his copper mule. What are those things called?
I don't know, my goblet of mead.
Your goblet of fire?
That works too.
Was it purchased at the Renaissance Festival?
No, it was a DreamHack.
DreamHack. You got it from there? That was it. That was the sodas that you could buy the can and then get dollar refills or whatever. Remember conventions, guys? Remember you could go out and just mingle amongst people and step up to a demo unit that 18 other people had played before you and sweated all over and drooled all over, and you could just demo the latest and greatest version of Smite on Nintendo Switch right after all these people. What else did we play, Cesar, at that DreamHack?
We watched a lot of PUBG.
We watched a lot of PUBG. We watched a lot of competitive Halo. That was cool.
Tried out Master Chief Collection on PC. I guess it was Halo Reach.
We did. Nope. That was the Halo event.
Oh, I'm mixing my events. But no,
that was almost like a year ahead of time, right?
We just did was it just the multiplayer is what we did? I can't remember which game we played.
I played campaign on Halo Reach when I was there. Because it was like take out a tower. It was the beginning of Reach, and I haven't played any of that on console since or PC.
I haven't played it ever since then.
We played something else at DreamHack. We stood in line for the PUBG thing. We got our pictures taken with those people to get entered into something. We stood in line for Smite. We got our T-shirts. We watched Halo. We watched PUBG. Was that where the Halo arcade thing was at, or was that the actual Halo event?
I don't know anymore.
They all blur together. Back when we could go to conventions and events. Brant, what's the last convention style thing you went to where you were able to mingle amongst people?
Gosh.
Have you been to like AWA or anything?
No, the last convention period was, several years ago at my other job. Would have been 6 years ago. Yeah.
Brant, I don't even know what you did before your current position.
Saltwater fish.
You did what now? Salter fish? Like you took the electrical connections. You took the electrical connections of the fish and with a hot iron you connected them together.
Man.
I soldered fish.
Trying to break Darwin's rules.
I know.
No, I
teach a man to solder fish.
No, I worked at a pet store, and we were exclusively saltwater fish and aquariums, things like that.
Saltwater fish. Okay, I see where the confusion came from. I'm down with this. I like what you did to the fish. I like my imagery a little bit better than saltwater.
Frankenstein fish together. That's a horrible story.
I will create the supreme fish, supreme fish delight. I will combine their tails.
Sure, the other employees were like, "Yeah, it's Frank. He does it all the time. Just let him do what he wants." he makes sales. We don't give a fuck.
Let him go. He may leave us one day and find a better job. But right now he's pulling numbers. just let him go. It's just weird, but they're coming in. They're buying these Frankenstein fish sandwiches. Yeah, just let him keep going.
Coming in and he's selling all those pre-orders on fish.
Freshly soldered fish. Get your freshly soldered fish.
Fresh soldered fish. Oh, God. It's a pretty good bit. All right, y'all ready to jump to news?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hard transition as Brant's still laughing. Who wants to talk about the Ubisoft Connect and their combining of their two ecosystems? Ecosystems. As I type away with our chat feed.
I'm going to be honest with you.
We're down to 3 people. We lost somebody.
Absolutely not. I'm just going to start typing in there like I did last time. And then it's going to be the same thing as always.
There's actually some pretty cool features tied up in this article.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take a crack at it. I didn't read this at all. I didn't even know this was happening. So Ubisoft Connect brings the entire Ubisoft ecosystem to one place on October 29th, and this is from Ubisoft.
Oh, so tomorrow, as of the time of this recording.
I guess as I said, to coincide with the launch of Watch Dogs Legion. It said everything you've used, you play in Ubisoft Club for the past will be refreshed, expanded, and merged into Ubisoft Connect. Designed for the next generation of gaming and beyond. It's their commitment to make cross-platform features standard in the future. That includes cross-platform progression on games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Mortals: Phoenix Rising, and Riders Republic, which is cool. Next gen gaming goes beyond and technology improvements and better graphics. So it's more of a user experience is what they're trying to build on there, making it a lot more easier for gamers. They did say they're going to have seamlessly into the Ubisoft games. You're going to get social features going to be integrated in-game rewards, challenges, and activities all in one place, in addition to all the functionality of Uplay and Ubisoft Club. They go into details.
So you're still going to have to sign into a Ubisoft account. But let's say you and I buy the new Far Cry on PS5, and Brant decides to get it on Series X. We'll still be able to do crossplay. All that stuff will translate. We talk Brandon again to PS5. His save will carry over to Far Cry 6 on PS5. This is super consumer friendly by Ubisoft. It's more of the Microsoft view of like, just play our games anywhere. We don't care. It's fine. So I really like this stance.
Yeah. So I mean, they just go into details about all the. They give examples of how they integrate Rainbow Six Siege and you know how they'll give you tips on how to recruit a beekeeper and what Watch Dogs Legion, the new Smart Intel. I guess it'll be similar to what PlayStation has, where you have those little guides that they can put in there for trophies.
Right at a Ubisoft level.
Yep. To celebrate the launch, they're going to give more than 1,000 legacy Ubisoft Club rewards will be unlocked today for free for all players. The Ubisoft Connect experience will launch on Windows PC, Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and be available on the Series X and S and PlayStation 5 on November 15th. The service will also come to Stadia, NVIDIA GeForce Now, and Amazon Luna later this year.
Starting to see Amazon Luna out there more and more and more, right? We see these press briefings and we see including Amazon Luna in there. Again, just to reiterate, I think this is a huge thing for Ubisoft. They were one of the first ones to pivot to the games as a service thing, as they, saved Rainbow Six Siege from whatever abyss it was stuck into. So this is I think is a huge move. No matter where you play, you'll be able to transfer all your stuff. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because, go ahead. Up until now, it's just been up to whoever. So for a big, I would say this is one of the top 3 or 4 third-party publishers. Would you guys agree? Ubisoft.
Yep.
So for them to say, hey, this will transfer anywhere you go, progress, everything, you're golden. You don't have to worry about the platform. That's super consumer friendly. I'm down with this.
Makes it easier when you have to, like you said, no matter where you play. Some people are going to play on their phones and consoles and web browsers, and
that's it.
I mean, if you can bring your save data over, that's get people in those games.
You have so many games right now in this crossroads. You have Assassin's Creed, you have Watch Dogs, you have Far Cry. So you have these games that are in limbo as far as next gen upgrades and things like that, and I don't want to start over my progress. I don't want to bring this character over. And it may not be as simple as PS4 to PS5 or Xbox One to Xbox Series X. It may be PS4 over to Series X, or it may be Xbox One to PS5. So they've eased that for consumers that are hinging on these big AAA games that we're known to get from Ubisoft. Those consumers. I thought I had to duck down there. Those consumers are going to be okay. They're good. Cesar's bouncing around. I'm back to being a. There he is. He's grande. I'm just peeking through this window now. Hello. Cesar, what's our next story? I'm just down here. I'm just down here hanging out. Cesar, what's our next story?
Sure. The next story is
the stupid hot take of the week.
It's the very hot take.
The garbage take on Nintendo's business model from
it's so dumb.
Everybody's
Michael Patcher. That was the dude's name.
Pachter? What is he?
Yeah, Michael Patcher. So, Mr. Michael Patcher, who's been in the industry, he's an analyst as far as like
Bush Securities.
Yeah,
come on. This is nothing new with this guy. He usually does shit like this. It's amazing he hasn't done it for this long.
Yeah,
it's been so long since he had one.
This guy is the Stephen A. Smith of the video game industry. It's just stupid hot takes, man.
All right, let's just remember the fact that we had a show back in the day where Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless were both on there at the same time. So, and then they decided to make two equally more awful shows as they separate. So, not only did we have one awful show, now we have two awful shows because of a contract dispute.
Thank you, people. Let's give Michael Pachter his own show full of video game industry hot takes, in which currently, according to Brant and Nintendo Life, Nintendo isn't that smart. Pachter says Nintendo should scrap Switch and only have Switch Lite. It should just be a portable.
His full quote is, I don't really understand the whole hybrid concept. I don't think people play it in both modes. I would say maybe 20% of Switch owners play both modes, and I think most Switch owners play handheld only. So honestly, I don't understand the whole point of the hybrid. Who cares? Play it in handheld. And then he said, "Yeah, I don't think Nintendo is that smart. You'll never know what they do next. But I think the smart thing would be to get rid of the Switch console and have it only Switch Lite. Get rid of the dock and the station. Get rid of playing on the TV, unless if you want to offer something like a Fire Stick type dongle for people that want to play on the TV." So
this is the worst. This is the worst of hot takes.
All right. So
first off, okay, go ahead, Cesar. Unpack it for us. It for us.
Let's be honest with it. This guy, I mean, I don't want to insult anybody, but he's looking at everything from a financial standpoint. It makes sense financially. I give him that. If you look at it financially, it makes sense, but consumer-wise, it does not. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You want to give people value for what they buy and give them multiple options.
Yep.
He's just looking at it as the bottom dollar line. Like, Nintendo will make this much more money if it just went this bare bones method, I don't think people will bitch about it, but, that's not what's going to happen, so...
And it's not like Nintendo's not making money hand over fist right now with this console.
Non-stop. Like, they can't keep them in stock on any retailer. So I am known on this podcast for joking that the dock is just a charger, right? I joke that you can't play it on TV, this kind of stuff. Since the pandemic started, since lockdown and quarantine and all that kind of stuff. So the past, 6+ months? The Switch has been a home console for me. It has been that thing sitting on the dock, going to the TV like a traditional console. So that's what its strength is that hybrid. And Nintendo themselves did a survey in I don't have it right off the rip, but I saw it retweeted after this article. But it was 2018, I think, and they showed the percentage of people who use it docked versus portable and things like that. And it was a wide open thing that people are using that hybrid console for its purpose. They're using it for all different types. So this extremely hot take of it just being a portable is unbelievable to start with. Like, where does this even come from? But here we are talking about it. We're giving Michael Pachter some news. Pachter.
I mean, it's just like I said, it's just all financial. I mean, that guy's never been a consumer friendly type of person. So
No.
this is what he's always been. He's always going to be like, what makes the most dollar bottom line. So
yeah, I can't remember what his other last controversial hot take was, but it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm sure it was something else. They would make this much more money if they stuck with this feature.
Stephen A. Smith, man. Speaking of Fire Sticks for streaming, Xbox chief hints at TV streaming sticks for xCloud. This comes from The Verge and Tom Warren. An interview with Phil Spencer. He mentioned, he said specifically, quote, I think you're going to see lower price hardware as part of our ecosystem when you think about streaming sticks and other things that somebody might want to just go plug into their TV and go play xCloud, said Spencer. You could imagine us having something that we just included in the Game Pass subscription that gave you an ability to stream xCloud games to your television and buying the controller. So again, that is the easiest barrier of entry for xCloud. I think it's a great idea. You buy the controller. The controller is like what, 50 on sale, 60 MSRP, and let's say you have a Fire Stick, you have a Roku, you have an Apple TV. Apple TV might be a stretch. All things recently considered, but most people have these streaming things sitting out there. I could see a deal with Roku or Samsung or somebody to integrate this into their smart TV apps where you just have xCloud sitting there, and let's say your TV purchase gives you 6 months free of xCloud, and you have to buy a controller, and then you're in that ecosystem, and then you keep paying for those games. So it's kind of the Trojan horse effect, I think, for Xbox. What do you guys think?
Offering any solution to get their games out there, it's just smart business.
Yep.
Because if they, I guess we'll see how the Series S does. But I mean, having an even cheaper option, bundling it with maybe a month or two or three of Game Pass, and with a controller. I mean, what would you think that would go for? Maybe do that at 99, 89, and then boom, you get them in that ecosystem. And then if they like it enough, they're probably going to spend their whoever, whether it be an adult or if you have a child, they're going to get into that ecosystem and they're going to want more. So if they want more, the next step is going to be straight to a console. So it's going to be a cheap way to get people's foot in the door, get them introduced to what you've got going on as a company, what you can offer, and hopefully get them to buy more of your product.
Do you think they even care about the transition to a console at this point? Or let's say you buy a Samsung TV, you buy a controller, you buy that service, your major first-party games are all going to be on there. So you have Sea of Thieves, you have Master Chief Collection, you have Forza. Those have their own DLC and add-ons and seasons and everything else that you can buy into. But then let's say a game leaves Game Pass off of your Samsung Smart TV. You don't have a disc that you can buy and just pop into there. You automatically get, what is it, 10% with Game Pass? You get 10% off whatever that title is. It's like, man, it's 0%. What is that, Cesar?
20.
20%. Okay.
Up
so
to
you're already
20%
hooked.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, you're already hooked. You're ready to go. Like, okay, I love this title. Now it's leaving the service that is just streaming to my TV without any dedicated thing. This is what I'm hooked on. Right there, they're ready to go. They're ready to pay for that title with the 20% off, and it's just using their Roku or Fire Stick or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead, Cesar.
It's like you said, Richard. I mean, we both work in IT, and Microsoft could care less about me buying another PC or Windows. I can use Teams on my phone. I'll pay for the subscription. I can do my whole job from my phone if I wanted to, because my whole job is based on Teams now. So.
Yep, and you can put Outlook on your, you can put it on your tablet, you can put it on your computer. 6 licenses a piece, wherever you need to put it, you're good. They don't need to sell you each individual license of Outlook. You're sold.
Up to 5, I think, for us. So
6 for us. We have the advantage. Was there anything else out of that interview?
I think that was the big points.
Yeah, that was huge. Expect to see, I would just say, expect to see xCloud everywhere. I think the Xbox of this generation is not. It's funny that that's the title, but I don't think it is an Xbox. It is a platform that just says Xbox on it. That is your PC, your phone, your Samsung, your refrigerator. Where
I,
you saw the video of somebody
Your
running.
internet browser.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I would say it's a platform. I'm just saying it's a service.
service. That's it. Wow, how did we go? That's just think about that. Just think about what we think of as Xbox. This is no longer a platform. This is a service. You can get an Xbox wherever, except iOS. But we talked about that last week. It's coming. Brent, tell us about that Fire Emblem on Switch. I've got Fire Emblem Three Houses. Why do I need more Fire Emblem? The one I'm playing is already in English. What's the big deal behind this one?
Because, sir, this is the first localized release of the original Fire Emblem.
What do you mean? I only learned about Fire Emblem through Super Smash Brothers Melee. That's my introduction to Fire Emblem. You mean there was something before that?
Oh yeah.
You mean
Do
that?
tell.
You mean that remake that came on the DS didn't satisfy you?
Ding ding ding. We've wrapped it up. What's the next story? No, this is
If
very
you would-
important. This is good stuff.
Yeah, if you want to buy that DS version, it's got a pretty big resale rate on it. So
It's
hope
pretty
you're
good.
not
One of
looking
those-
to get into that one.
Is it one of those
I'm looking on the
DS
shelf. It's there.
subtitled games? Go ahead, Cesar.
I said I'm looking on the shelf. It's already there. I don't have to worry
Oh.
about it.
Isn't it a DS subtitle thing like Dual Strike or
Dark Shadows. I can't remember what it was. Yeah.
Dark Chance? Something like that. Dark Sword, Dragon Sword. Maybe that was the Ninja Gaiden one. It's there were so many games that used the DS moniker and added DS subtitle to it.
So this is originally a Famicom game. It's Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light. It's 30 years old, and it's going to see its first English the North American localized release.
It's older than you, Brant.
Yes.
My 3-year-old self was pining away for this game, and Cesar's how old self?
Actually, no. I'm 30 years this year, so
Here we go. This is the year of Brant.
Yeah, I was 7 when this game came out.
Okay, there we go. We were pining away. Brent, you were still in diapers, pooping yourself, hoping for Shadow Dragon and Blade of Light.
but it is going to be released December 4th on Nintendo Switch, digital at $5.99. It is getting a limited edition release. It's not even a physical release. It's still getting just a digital code, but with lots of goodies. There's like this poster, and it's got like Nintendo Power on it. There's this cool. It looks like it's possibly acrylic mock-up of the NES cartridge with the little sleeve,
Which looks fucking awesome.
Everything in that collection looks amazing, and the
Yes.
collection is priced at $49.99. I didn't see this collection go up anywhere, but apparently the places where it did go up, it sold out immediately, and you can find them on eBay being sold at 3 times the price.
Oh, dear
right now.
God.
Well,
I saw it on Best Buy and somewhere else.
It only came up in GameStop first, and then Best Buy. So it hasn't gone on Amazon yet.
So the important part of this is we're getting a localized English version of the very first Fire Emblem game, and it is going to be $6 digital. But the flip side of that, outside of the $40 physical/digital one that Brand is discussing, that comes with a NES box and replica NES game pack and a protective sleeve and an art book and a game download code, is that this is also for a limited time. It will only be available in the eShop through March 31st, 2021, which the Polygons points out as the end date for Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and they will shut down Super Mario Bros. 35 on the same day. So that's the end of Nintendo's fiscal year. Why? Why do this? Why bring this game out and make this limited? Okay, I get the physical product, whatever. That's been a market for years and years and years at this point. Even though it comes with a digital code, we can argue about that for 12 hours if we wanted to. Why make this This historical preservation of game history, only available for what, 4 months after release? That's an even shorter time frame than Super Mario, and I would argue, maybe not. Super Mario's huge. I would argue that this is I mean, you could technically seek out. They may be expensive. You can still get a hard copy of Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, and Mario Sunshine. You could still put your hands on that. You cannot get an official translation of the original NES Fire Emblem anywhere, and this is it. Why make this limited? What's the point behind that besides sales? And the vault strategy that we talked about last week with the limited. It's crazy, man. And you can pre-purchase it now. It comes out 2 months from now. You can pre-purchase this $6 digital game.
And this is only the second actual title that they're talking about doing this with, and I'm already really tired of it. Just this model that they're going with. I really hope they are doing this because it's an anniversary and they're trying to keep the anniversary special. But to me, it doesn't really make that much sense.
We've even brought up on this podcast. I mean, okay, take this one anniversary of Mario Brothers, right? You can sell this game pack for the next 10 years, no issue, and it's going to be on MPD, at least Switch MPD for the next 10 years. That Mario 3D All-Stars, right? Like, why pull that from shelves? You're going to sell the shit out of that. That's not going to be an issue.
I was in 2 different stores this past Monday, and Super Mario All-Stars is on the shelf.
They're there. Okay, it's October 28th. What do you think about November 28th or December 14th? You think those will be there?
That's my birthday, by the way.
December 14th?
Yep.
That was random. How did that
happen? I know.
All right, listeners, if you want to send Brant a copy of Super Mario 3D All-Stars for his birthday, that's what he just asked for. We heard it live here on air.
I think toward December, or late November, you're going to see a lot of those. All the sorts of titles are not going to be on the shelf because it's going to be holidays. They're not going to be there.
So, on your point, if this is a special anniversary edition, like, how does this bode for, what do we have coming up? Not Mario. We have Metroid, Zelda. Those are all, like, on the horizon. What kind of limited bullshit, crazy hoop, cut-off preservation type deal are we going to mess with on this next go-around with whatever that is? I hate that. I'm not a fan.
We talk a lot about preservation and how important preservation is to get these games off of platforms that they've been locked on for years and years, right. And then to get them put on a new platform and we champion it, even though so many other people stuck their nose up at and still do at the Super Mario 3D All-Stars. But honestly, it's great to have those systems or have those games on this new system. It's great.
On the current piece of hardware that people are buying right now. You can't go get a 64, GameCube, Wii U. You can't go get those at retail right now. You can get a Switch at retail, and you can buy this cartridge for those 3 games.
What's not great is this limited gate of access. It's like, yay, it's finally on this new system, and then all of a sudden, in a few months, it's not going to be on this new system.
That's all it is. Gatekeeping.
If you can find a physical copy, great. But as soon as it's not available anywhere else, it's going to skyrocket. It'll probably be as much or probably more, since it'll be extremely limited, than just buying each individual game on their original consoles.
Right. It's aggravating. I'm very excited we're getting this game. I'm down for $6 for Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Nintendo's dropping the price of replacement single Joy-Con controllers. Many people have been asking for this. I think it got added to Japan and Asia here recently. They are now, my link is messing up via The Verge. They're now $39.99 a piece. Is that right?
Yes.
Even though it won't come up. So you can, instead of having to buy 2 at a time, which sucked butt, and I, ever since my first set that came with the system, I only got them at GameStop during certain deals. But does this behoove either one of you guys? Cesar, you feel like you're buying a one-off Joy-Con, one way or the other?
Probably not. I've only bought 2 pairs of Joy-Cons, and that's it.
That's where I'm sitting at too. But this is a good option for. I guess this is their way of remediating the Joy-Con drift issue with the left Joy-Con.
That they say doesn't exist.
Right, and deny. This link is not coming up, guys. Y'all might be on your own for news.
Which link is not working for you?
My browser is not working.
Oh.
I know the next article is Destruction All-Stars, but I don't know anything about it. Who does? Cesar, we hadn't heard from you in a while.
I'm not able to pull up either.
You are going to save $70 on Destruction All-Stars because it is coming to PlayStation Plus in February. So it's a delay from November 2020 to February 2021. But for those 2 months wait, PlayStation Blog notes, you will get it for free, as it were. And PlayStation Plus is on sale through some random website right now for $28 if anybody needs it.
There we go.
Destruction All-Stars is a multiplayer game that's at its best when you're competing with gamers online from all around the world. We want as many people as possible to experience the mayhem on PS5, and what better way to do that than provide the game to our PlayStation Plus members. So they launched a new trailer. They reassured everyone who had pre-ordered physical and digital copies you'll be able to get your money back through respective retailers or a PlayStation Store. And please look forward to Destruction All-Stars on PlayStation Plus in February. I think it's a brilliant move, to be honest.
It's going to be on there for, 2 months, I think they said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. So that'll... I think the console is still going to be hard to find at that point, but it will still be a good motivator. The preview embargo of Astro, I want to call it Astrobot, but it's like Astro's Playroom, I think. Mm-hmm. That has lifted, and that is starting to look like it's a pack-in game. It's on every PS5 hard drive when you fire it up, but that's starting to look more and more like a
tech demo more than anything else, really.
It's starting to look like a great launch title. It previews a lot of features of the controller, great graphics. It seems to be more than just a regular pack-in, is what I was getting.
Yeah. People like it. They do say it's really kind of a long tech demo, but they do say it's a great game. It shows off a lot of the features of the DualSense. Is really where it shines. It uses basically everything you can for the DualSense.
And people who I have followed for quite some time and who I think have a good grasp on the industry, they say the controller feels next gen, like the actual HD rumble we were expecting from the Joy-Cons. That's what you get with this haptic feedback and stuff. So I'll have one Saturday. I'll power it up and I'll turn it on and I'll let you know what the haptic feedback feels like. I'll carry it all around the house. I'll let you know what it feels like. The tactile feedback in the bathroom, and you'll have your first review hot take here on the NOFODcast.
Have you seen all the devices you can use it on?
Just PS5 so far, right? And xCloud.
Yeah, you can use it for xCloud.
Yeah.
xCloud, PC.
I think PC does recognize it, yeah.
Your PS4 will recognize it as a microphone. That's about it.
As a microphone?
Yeah.
That's what I got it for. I needed a new PlayStation microphone / headset, and my DualSense is going to fit that bill. I'm really excited for 3D audio. Cesar and I have been talking about this on the side, but that is going to feel next gen to me, I think, because sound is such an unexplored area, I believe. So we shall see. What's next up in news? Who wants to take this one? Cesar, you're the Assassin's Creed expert. Tell us about your cartoon, Ezio.
There's no cartoon in it. It says it's a live-action adaptation of Ubisoft's long-running series. Assassin's Creed's coming to Netflix. Basically, they just go, this is all from The Verge, from Megan Farouk Manesh. Sorry, I slaughtered the name. Netflix announced that they did an agreement for the stream platform and for Ubisoft to tap into their iconic video game tropes of dynamic stories with global mass appeal. And the only thing they have to announce was Assassin's Creed. They don't have it's in the early stages. They don't have a showrunner. They just it was just an announcement that it's coming out.
So look forward to that video game adaptation. What would you expect from a Assassin's Creed TV show?
Assassinations, historical events, apples of
Apollo
Eden.
Creed?
It depends on who the showrunner is. So whoever decides how the show's going to plan out. So
that's what it comes down to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that clicking's pretty loud. There is an animated series on the way. That's what I read. So your cartoon Ezio is still coming, Cesar, despite the correction. I have high hopes for this. I think Resident Evil's coming. The first season of The Witcher was really, really good. Did anybody else watch that? I thought it was great.
I've only heard good things.
Oh man, it's good, and it flies by. The missus watched it with me, and she has no attachment to the Witcher franchise as a game or books or anything, and she was down for that Netflix series. So that's definitely a good series. Tyler's Girl, you should definitely check out The Witcher on Netflix. Hashtag Netflix. Hashtag ad. Site sponsor Netflix. I think it's pretty good. Next up, Nintendo Direct Mini. This dropped today. Brant took time out from his day, probably around lunchtime. He watched it, and he has a great summary via Business Wire of Nintendo's press release. Brant, you're our Nintendo correspondent. We're going live to Brant. Brant, it seems like all kinds of crazy shit's happening there. Make sure you're safe. Are you? Yeah, I see you. Can you hear us, Brant? Brant, can you hear us live on the? Okay.
Yeah, I've got you. I've got you.
We're going live to Brant. He's in the war-torn country of Nintendo. We'd like an update of all the announcements that came today. Go ahead, Brant.
Well, everything started off nice and pleasant, like a game of Animal Crossing, and then it just got crazy.
So there's no Animal Crossing news in this. I think that gets us our highest clicks on the podcast. So we will skip this news bit and move on to something else because that does not behoove us. What actually happened during this event, Brant?
So, like I was in an event that took place all day, so I actually didn't see this until you put it on news. But as soon as I got home, I watched this. This was the very first thing I had to do, and plenty was announced. They showed off this article. Kind of goes out of order, so I'll just hit them as I remember. They first showed off Bravely Default 2 from Square Enix. They just showed off a little bit more, a nice little trailer showing the story, characters, some of the different things, and announced that it will be coming February 26, 2021. Then they showed
that a demo was out.
Yes.
Good. All right, talk amongst yourselves.
Oh wait, they had a demo not too long ago. They took feedback from the demo. They showed off Story of All Seasons, Pioneer of Olive Town. It's kind of a creative resource management, build your own town, build your own farm kind of deal where you get to plot out how you want to build everything, build your own farm. In the original Farm Simulation series, it's coming to Nintendo Switch March 23rd, 2021, and it's just taking care of your farm animals and vegetables and whatever else.
Holy shit, get off the farm stuff. We get it. It's a farm.
It's
a farm simulator.
Oh, it's one of those. They showed off Immortals Phoenix Rising. They've showed off this a good bit. So this was just another trailer and showing off that it will be launching on December 3rd, and it's up for pre-orders beginning today. This was kind of crazy. They showed Control Ultimate Edition. Cloud version is coming to the Nintendo Switch. And this is a pretty pretty intense game. I know even the Xbox One X struggled with this game in certain parts. So it'll be interesting to see how this does on the Switch. I can't.
I've seen some early reviews of that, and they say it's amazing. Like, you can set graphical settings and everything, and it just runs
Really?
perfectly. Yeah. Japan's been doing this with, Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Resident Evil 7, I think it was, where the two games you could cloud stream.
Yep.
So there you have it from Richard. It already says that it's a great game. He's played it firsthand.
Via Twitter. Somebody on Twitter, not me.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen on Twitter was some people said there was some lag on the audio here and there, but that was all they experienced.
So then we had Hitman 3 is also coming, cloud version. Hitman 3 is also coming to Nintendo Switch. They showed off a game called Surviving the Aftermath, a post-apocalyptic, another resource management kind of build your own town sim game. And that launches spring 2021. Tropico 6, Nintendo Switch edition, is another like top-down building kind of SimCity-esque game, but this one is
Tropico's been around for a while.
Yeah, you're taking over nations and different things like that. Coming to Nintendo Switch November 6th, and pre-orders are already up today. They showed off a little bit more of Bakugan Champions of Vestoria, which they've shown before, but this time they
this
gave
was the
us,
big announcement a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that special game that we didn't know it was coming, and it was
Bakugan.
But that got a release date of November 3rd. What was this? Griftlands Nintendo Switch Edition? I don't think I remember that.
PC. I think it's a big current PC game. It's a roguelike card style game.
Yeah, that was the card-based battling. Yeah, I remember that, and that's summer 2021. And then we move on to the big games. So before they ended the show, they showed us a little bit of No More Heroes 3, which I know me and Cesar are extremely excited about. It's going to be out 2021. And then just kind of out of nowhere, dropped a little bit of more information on us, saying that No More Heroes 1 and 2 will be on the Nintendo Switch. Not only that, they're there today.
We were hoping this was coming.
They're on sale already as well, that you get 10% off. They normally sell for $19.99. So, of course, they are $17.99. So, yeah, great games. Go get them. Go get them. Can't talk about those enough. And then the thing that they ended the show on is the big game that they have coming out next month, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. They keep showing us more and more of this game. They already have my money, but they did. This kind of leaked out.
Brent's like, out. This bit's not for me. You're good. Your $60 is safe.
Yeah, it kind of got leaked out yesterday that there was I think it was a Taiwanese site leaked out that they put up about the demo, and then today they announced that yes, there is a playable demo, and it is out today. So as soon as this was over, I downloaded it, and you will be able to keep your save data. You play through the first little, they say the chapter, but if that was a chapter, it was very, very short. But you play through that first chapter, you're able to keep your progress, and from playing the demo, I believe you get like Link's training sword or something as like a little bonus when you buy the retail game. Yeah.
Wooden sword and a farmer's tunic.
And that was their Nintendo Direct, and they did announce when they ended that direct that was their last direct for the year.
Of the
So
year.
I remember one of the last times we did information on the Nintendo Direct, and we got Super Mario All Stars, and um, after that there was a small direct that gave us a couple small games, and people were like, "Well, that's it for Nintendo. They don't really have anything else." Some of these games I'd say are pretty big titles to get on the Nintendo Switch.
For sure. For sure. That was a good direct mini. Cesar, what'd you think?
I don't have a comment because I didn't watch any of it. I literally read whatever was on Twitter. So Brent knows
It
more than
was
me.
it was enough to purchase the No More Heroes collection.
Correct. That's
I'm
exactly
I'm
all that happened.
I'm intrigued about the cloud stuff. I'm not, super sold on being reliant on someone else to stream the games to me. I have not jumped on Stadia because of that. I did sign up for the Luna thing. Cesar, did you hear anything back from the Luna tryouts or whatever?
I have not.
I didn't either, so we're not in on that program. Full disclaimer. Um, but this is it's intriguing for that to be the Ultimate Edition, as they're not even able to figure out the current gen SKUs of that. I think the Xbox one was forcing some kind of weird patch that you have to download, and it was kind of its whole mess on top of all the other mess that we've talked about with that Control Ultimate Edition being cross-platform and everything else, and what version of the game you get.
Yeah, I think there was what they said that a majority of that game's not on disc for Xbox.
It's
That's what they were
not.
saying. Yeah, they said it was you had to do a huge download. So
An important thing to point out about next gen, as far as people who are still into physical media, that PS5 game is going to give you a PS5 game. The Xbox SKUs from here going forward, for better or worse, are going to be just Xbox SKUs. It could be it's more or less just an unlock via that disc. You don't know what's actually going to be on that physical disc.
yeah, because
It's something Sony. Go ahead.
it looks like the Xbox ones are using standard Blu-rays. I know the Sony's the reason why we got separate discs is because the PS5 ones are on Ultra Blu-ray discs. So that's the reason why those discs won't work in PS4s.
They won't. So there will be that generational separation. So whether it's consumer friendly or this is a generational gap or however you want to look at it, as far as like preservation and generations and things like that, if you buy a PS5 game, that will be a PS5 game. It's cool that some of the PS4 titles that you can purchase, like the recently delayed, we didn't put in new Cyberpunk once again.
Yeah.
What's that new date?
December
We would
10th.
just do that every
Yeah,
episode. December what?
10th, I believe.
December 10th. My hot take on that seems to be that stay the hell away from the current gen versions of Cyberpunk. I would say wait for that PS5, Xbox Series X SKU if you possibly can. It seems like that seems to be the holdup, is getting that beast to run. This seems to be like what happened with The Witcher, right? Y'all remember that? Like it was supposed to be on PS3 and Xbox 360. Like there's no way that game runs on those things. But that is something to keep in mind with those generational consoles, if that steers you one way or the other. One is more of it's back to that Xbox One original concept of, okay, this disc is just a key. You pop this in, you're going to get the Xbox One version that runs at 900p. You're going to get the One S version that does some sort of 1440p. You've got a 1X version of that. You're going to have a Series X version of that. You're going to have a Series S version of that. It's just going to break down into like ultra, high, medium. It's going to break down into settings, PC style, based off of what disc you pop in there, versus a PS5 being the actual disc that you purchase. Or if you buy a PS4 game that they have advertised as an upgrade, then you will get that one as well. So
I mean, if you look,
something to keep in mind is for physical media people out there who are trying to decide between, and it is, Cesar, I'll let you jump in here in a minute. It is easier to fathom when you do have Ubisoft coming out there saying, hey, buy Watch Dogs for this. It's going to carry over to this. It's going to carry over to that. When you're ready, you can upgrade to this version. You can run it in 1440p. When you have something that does ray tracing, you can get it. When you have something that does 120 frames per second, you can get it. So there is that peace of mind from third parties as far as that goes, that you'll have that available. But go ahead, Cecil.
Yeah, because I mean, standard Blu-rays you can do a single layer is at 25 gigs, dual layer is 50, and then I think you can do a dual layer 4K at 66 gigs, and then the triple layer is 100 gigs. You can fit on Ultra Blu-ray discs.
Are all Ultra discs triple layer, or is that a special build of that triple layer disc?
They only come in dual and triple layer. It's not. There's special builds of the original Blu-ray disc and triple and quadruple, but you have to have a special laser for those, and they're too expensive. But it's standard. It can read it triple layer disc standardly for 100 gigs.
Gotcha. It's not a factor of Super Smash Brothers Brawl or Metroid Prime Trilogy burning up Wii's because they can't read that dual layer pseudo DVD that the Wii games came out on, and they offer you a fix through Nintendo. All right, I skipped that story I was talking about. What was it? Oh, we got our first look at the Uncharted actors. We have Tom Holland as a young Nathan Drake, and we have Mark Wahlberg as a Sully, a mustachioed Sully. He's supposed to be a younger Sully. It's not the Uncharted 1 and 2 Sully we all know and love. What did you guys think of the actors, how they showed them off and presented them?
As long as Sully doesn't have a Brooklyn accent, I think I'll be all right. But
and take you to a Patriots game.
I was actually blown away, and I thought because it's so close to Halloween, when I saw that picture of Tom Holland, I was like, oh dang! I was like, man, that looks pretty good. And then once I saw a little bit more, and then I started digging into it and see Nolan North himself visiting the set, meeting with Tom Holland, and looking around. And I believe this article even talks about that Tom Holland met with some of the guys from Naughty Dog, including Neil Druckmann. And Neil Druckmann went down to the set and said it looks insane, just everything they have so far.
He's been the biggest critic of that movie for a while. So,
and
Druckmann,
because I think he wrote a script or something like that, and they passed on it, and he was skeptical on how they were going to tell that story, translation from game to movie.
And
so, because I know the Last of Us TV show, he wrote the script for it, and they're basing on it.
I was about to say he's behind the Last of Us. Yeah,
he had more creative control on that than he did in Uncharted. I know he was kind of down on Uncharted when Sony announced they were making a movie on it.
But I know they've had a lot of ebbs and flows with this movie, ups and downs, trying to make this thing, directors leaving, whatnot. And this is going to be like Sony's the first actual, like, the Sony video game full on movie, and this is their first thing. But as far as just Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, that works for me. I didn't think it would work because when I was like, Tom Holland, he's too young, but no, it looks really good. The Mark Wahlberg with the mustache and the hair slicked back looks. I'm a little bit more apprehensive on that, and I
think he could do it. I was like, I do it.
Really want to see his method and how he's going to approach the character, but I'm leaning toward I want to see this. I'm for this. I'm for this movie.
Tyler's girl in the chat, she notes that the games were already like movies, and I couldn't help but think of the Kevin Butler ad. Do y'all remember that?
Not an issue.
Dear PlayStation, I've been playing Uncharted 2, and my girlfriend thinks it's a movie. Kevin Butler's like, oh, don't worry about it. I can understand it with Nathan Drake's adventuring, the set pieces, the live action. She'll come around. She'll figure out it's a game. And then the girlfriend walks in, and he's like, it's been 2 days. She says, all right, I'm ready. Start the movie. Kevin Butler says, I'm going to file this under not an issue. That's one of the great, man. If Kevin Butler hadn't shot himself in the foot with the, was it Bridgestone Mario Kart Wii commercial? Mm-hmm. We could still have Kevin Butler. We miss you. Bring him back. Oh man, it's greatness.
Yeah, I think this is their first movie from PlayStation Productions, and it should be almost done filming because
Yeah.
he's getting ready to start Spider-Man 3. So
I figured that's why we even got that intel that we got, as it were.
which is also another Sony movie.
Yeah.
Well, another Marvel Sony production, but I'm more excited about Spider-Man 3 because
They're
you may
filming
get
parts of that here.
you may get your Andrew Garfield sequel in that. You realize that?
Dude, I saw it. I saw it. They're bringing the pieces together. That's my favorite group of those Spider-Man movies. Is the Andrew Garfield's. Like, come on, let's go. Let's finish. Let's finish what you started. I need a third one in that series, man. The series was so damn good.
Supposedly, the only one that's hindering on there is Tobey Maguire. He wants more. He wants more screen time. Apparently, he doesn't want more money. He wants more screen time.
Oh, give Toby the screen
ahead,
time.
Brant.
Give Toby the screen time. Come on.
Go ahead, Brant. Do the dance. Do the emo Spider-Man dance for us.
Either way, I think this is going to happen because this is how you take Spider-Man out of the Marvel universe. So, you throw him in Spider-Verse. That's how you can take him in and out. Because I think this movie, and then there's another like Avengers type movie is all they have left on that deal with Sony.
Yep.
So I think this is how they're going to take him out, is throw him in the Spider-Verse, and then they can move him around and fight Venom and all that. So, or Morbius.
I'll accept this. I'll accept this outcome. Last bit of news now that we're an hour into this glorious show and your weekly update on news. Emo Spider-Man dancing, and okay, we have two more. I am looking at one. I have a Halo story. Brant's going to cut in and do another story for us. I apparently closed one out. Go ahead, Brant.
This was a story that you gave to us about from the PlayStation blog about Bug Snacks going.
Oh, here we go. This is
being
big news.
free at launch for PS5 for PlayStation Plus members. So this was kind of a surprise thing, and it's starting today. You'll be able to pre-order Bug Snacks on PS4, PS5, both available for pre-order at Fangamer right now.
With merch.
Yep. And then it's just also it's gonna be there on launch on PS5 for PS Plus members. So that's
awesome.
It's great. And this these are the same people that did Octodad. I really liked Octodad. This game looks.
Yep.
It doesn't look as wacky as Octodad, but it looks pretty out there. So it'll be
Brant. They grow fruits and vegetables out of their appendages. Come on now.
So this will be that look that Cesar gave you.
He's like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. The excitement to me is when I look back at that PS4 launch, like I enjoyed my upgrades for Battlefield, FIFA, the little bit of Call of Duty I played, but the shining star of that launch lineup was Resogun, which was our first PS Plus PS4 title. Resogun was and still is one hell of a game, and that's been 7 years. Can y'all believe that? This generation? That's wild, right?
Just like the last one.
I still remember coming back.
It was 7 years before we got the PS4, remember?
Wild, man.
It just we just didn't have that hardware bullshit like we did with the PS3 and 360. That's why it wasn't that bad. We
had the mid-step. Uh-oh, Cesar froze. Go ahead, Cesar.
I said we got to remember we had the hardware that can handle it. So I mean,
we had the mid-step boost. We had the 1Xs and
the standard PS4s and the 1Xs can still run games properly at a lower resolution. So
that's true. That's true. They just kind of shift into that downscaling gear, don't they? All right, our last bit of news is Halo Infinite director Chris Lee exits project. This comes from Gamatsu. Lee remains an employee at Microsoft. This is another big loss for the Halo Infinite project. Halo Infinite game director Chris Lee has left the project. He confirmed to Bloomberg. This was a Jason Schreier Bloomberg exclusive. Lee is the second top director to leave the project in the last 2 years. It says he's looking forward to opportunities. He's worked at 343 since 2008. Chris Lee remains a Microsoft employee, and while he has stepped back from Halo Infinite right now, we appreciate all he's done for the project to date. It was set to launch alongside the new hardware, Gamatsu notes, on November 10th, but was delayed to 2021. It will also be available for Xbox One and PC. Cesar, I think you had the best take on this when we were texting about this because you knew I'd see it. What do you think about the direction of Halo Infinite and what this kind of means for the project, the game, what it means, that scope of what this title even is anymore?
I don't know. I think it changed so many hands that you probably need to do a redo. And I think they're trying to make it work with what they have, and that's why people are leaving. I think it's probably a creativity issue. So it's like it's like putting me in the room where I got to fix somebody else's mess, and it's just it makes you more agitated. And it's like, well, why can't I just do it this way? And it was like, well, you already started this way. You just got to finish it. That's what we brought you in for. So.
Is that what Joseph Staten was brought in for? Do you think he was meant to iron out some of this stuff?
I don't know, because I mean, most of it just seems to be development issues. I think it's just they can't get a grasp of where they want to do with this game, in my personal opinion. They probably got the multiplayer.
So what is
already done. It's probably trying to get everything else tied in there. Because remember, this is completely different than what they're selling to us as an open world Halo. So, I mean, it's not to say that first-person shooters haven't been open world before, haven't been done before. I mean, they have, and they've been done successfully. You can look at Far Cry 4 or 3 But I guess, it is a Halo, and they want to innovate and do something completely different that hasn't already been done before. So,
but is that even? I'm the biggest Halo fan on the podcast. I would say that's my games played. That's probably 12 hours this weekend for Friday, Saturday night was Halo. What is Halo now? Is it up to them? Is that their mantle to carry? Is it up to them to innovate, to bring something new to the table, or was it enough to? That gameplay demo we saw, I was excited by it because my game of the year last year was Gears 5, so I started playing that with you and just taking that Gears formula that we've loved for the past 10 plus years and opening it up and giving us objectives and things like that. It made for such a cooler, more expansive narrative. Like, we decided some of the narrative in the order that we wanted to do some of those things. Was it probably overall linear? Maybe, but between the glitches forcing us to do different missions, that was the best Gears game I've played. I loved that step that they took. So do you think they're having to drop back that much and punt and figure something new out?
No, I think what it is that you originally had what the original director that left, and it's for me, it's like there's nothing more harder to do is to get somebody else's vision to work, unless that's what you do for a living. Unless you hire somebody who comes in and finishes somebody else's work.
What's the Xbox? What's the finisher? It is the Gears guy, right?
Rod.
Well, he's not even there anymore.
Yeah, he's in Blizzard. Remember, he's doing
He's
Diablo
at Blizzard now. Yep.
So I mean, because remember, I think Mike Ibarra took him with him. Because remember, Mike left, and then Rod kind of followed. They're both working at Blizzard after Blizzard had that exodus with all these people leaving.
So imagine by this point we would have heard about Rod Ferguson being at 343 to try to get Halo shipped in time.
Well, I think the guy that
it's just not happening.
Yeah, I think the guy that just left 343 they were hoping was going to be that type of person for them. It just wasn't it, because they got somebody who originally was in the original development of Halo, and they were going to try to. If they went that route, what I would imagine is they're trying to reinvigorate some of that old school feel in there. I guess that's what they felt was missing in this. They didn't want to go complete Halo 5, where a lot of people were disappointed where it was completely different, or Halo 4. I guess they want to kind of reinvigorate what made Halo special. So
that campaign seemed like it was hitting the right notes, though. Was it the flack from Craig the Banished, or the Lego block backgrounds, or what was not quite up to quality that they thought that all these changes were in order?
You gotta remember, that's the first time we ever seen that Halo game, and then they expected to ship it that fall. I mean, it wasn't like
that was it.
They haven't shown any evolution of it, so this is the first impression everybody got, and it seemed like nobody wanted it. I would imagine they were saying it was an early build for them, and even then, if they felt more confident about their product, they wouldn't really take that criticism to heart. They'll be like, well, we know it's gonna be better. Just wait,
Right.
But it seems like they must have felt that same way too, within that team, and that's why they changed the direction it went. And it makes sense because a lot of those people were leaving before they start showing that footage. So
the good thing, I will say this as a Halo fan, the good thing about this delay and this inconsistency and all that kind of stuff, there are still new novels coming out. There's been 2 novels come out this year. One was recently released. Master Chief Collection is better than ever. Halo 5 is still out there, even though they're propping up Master Chief Collection as the de facto Halo, it seems like. there's still plenty of Halo out there between lore, gameplay, all that kind of stuff. And honestly, the way I see it is, it's that Miyamoto quote of a delayed game is better than a rushed game. You know, that's not the exact quote. It's along those lines.
I'm not even laughing at your thing. I'm just laughing whatever Daniel Ahmad put out there, because remember he did that for Cyberpunk.
What did he say? He said, delay it.
I'll keep going and I'll find it and I'll read it out loud, because his threads are kind of long, so I'm gonna have to find it.
Yeah.
But he made
take your time on that. This is as Cesar pointed out, it's kind of pivotal time for Halo. It's the best game in Halo currently is one that came out 6 years ago, and they're just now got it working well and playing well and that kind of stuff, but they're still adding new seasons to it, new content to it, which if you had told me in 2014 that there's going to be seasonal content for Halo Master Chief Collection, I'm like, what is that? So this game, since publishing, has evolved into what this is now. So I think my final say on that is take your time, get the right people in there, get the story to where it's going to be true to the franchise, and we'll see it when it gets here, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, me personally, I think you should just start from scratch. That's what I'm saying. But whether or not they'll do it or not,
right?
I don't know. I'm not a game developer, and I'm not going to speak for anybody. So I don't know what they, how much manpower or hours they put in that game development. They may have something that they want to release. You know what I mean? So
right.
I don't know.
And there's still, that was in that Phil Spencer interview, there still may be that prospect of, we already know the multiplayer is going to be free. So everybody's with a Xbox One and up is going to be able to play Halo Infinite multiplayer. Maybe that's a shipped separately single player SKU from that free multiplayer that everybody gets. I think, sorry, you brought that up in our chat. So we'll just wait and see. We'll see what the future holds for Halo. Cesar, did you find that tweet before we move on?
I think
Live correction.
Yeah, because he tweets so much, and and it was a take on fucking Miyamoto, and I died laughing. Did I like it though?
A delayed game is eventually good, and a rushed game is forever bad, or something like that. Is closer to the quote than what I shit out there as the Miyamoto quote. And I think his original context was in relation to Twilight Princess, if I remember right. Them pushing back Twilight Princess. I didn't realize until looking back at release dates, the Wii one came out before the GameCube. Cesar, do you remember that?
Yeah.
The GameCube version of Twilight Princess was 3 weeks plus behind the Wii one.
No, because remember
Now we all know
there was a lot of people pissed about it. Because remember, a friend of the show, Andrew. I think he was more upset because he was going to play that on the GameCube. Oh, here we go. I found it.
We had way more GameCube pre-orders for it than we did Wii ones. I mean, the Wii one, they reversed it. It was widescreen. It was 480p. So that's already taught me into component cables and all that bullshit at that point. But the GameCube one ended up being the superior game, and that's what the Wii U version is built off of. You found it, Cesar?
He put this, a rush game is forever bad. A delayed game is Cyberpunk 2077. and he said, quoted by Shigeru Miyamoto, probably.
Probably. Maybe not.
A delayed game is Cyberpunk 2077.
Metal Jesus put up he's got a banner from some local retail store, and it says Cyberpunk 2077 coming September 17th, 2020, like the original release date. And or that's probably not even the original. It's probably like an amended one. And his caption on the tweet was, this gets more and more collectible every day. Every day it goes by, it's worth more and more. I thought it was pretty good. Is that it for news, Cesar? Brand, I didn't skip on anything?
That's it. You hit all the points.
We're golden. I will segue from our half Halo segment into my Halo of the week catch up. I actually was able to get in Halo Master Chief Collection on Friday night and Saturday night. Still all Halo 1, still all action sacks, still muskets and cannon fodder and Hellbringers, the flamethrower mode. And Brant, I'm telling you, I say it every week, jump in there with us, man. We always need a fourth. Almost 90% of the time we need a fourth. So it's just, God, it's so much fun, man. And Saturday night, friend of the show Dale was actually here. I have the little offset, social distanced, um, online but still couch co-op setup with 2 Xbox Ones, so we were able to still play multiplayer that way. It's still a blast, man. I love that game. I did some more tinkering. I think I've settled on the TV that I'm going to keep set up for the time being. Friends of the show will know how this goes for me. But everything I've thrown in it looked really good. Brant, I couldn't come to a happy medium with that TV that you and I share. Something about it, I was like, all right, let me take this down and try something else out. So I've actually it's in that same family. It's a Toshiba AF. It's a 1443 or something like that is what I want to say. It's a 14-inch set, so it's really, it's really small. You saw it at the last LAN party that I had, the last Halo one. And it's got a component, 480i only, and it's got S-Video. So just about everything I need to throw at it, I can do. I played some more Sly on it. I was able to beat that first boss. I didn't do that last week. I got enough keys to beat that boss. His name is Raleigh. He's a frog. I was chatting with Cesar about this. Brant, you played Sly recently, right? Within the past couple years. Do you remember the frog? He would lick the flies out of the power and grow up, get super huge, and then jump on the lily pad after you. And you just have to figure out the pattern of how he's going to come after you and that kind of thing. And I died many times at this old school, okay, just die until you figure out the pattern, and then you'll go from there. You'll figure it out. It's not quite as simplistic as a Zelda fight where you run around for a little while and then you see the orange blinky bits go off. So there was a little bit more to it than just trying to isolate the blinky bits. I got a game over in Sly Cooper, and it doesn't seem to do anything. So I was right back there at the boss with 5 lives all over again. So I don't know what you actually lose on that. I haven't been collecting a lot of the bottles if I see them, I'll get them on the game. So I know that's needed for the Platinum Trophy if you play on PS3. And to unlock the different moves, the extra moves for Sly. I only have one of those. So one of the levels of the 11 I've played, have I gotten all the bottles? The secret moves from the Thievius Raccoonus to unlock the secret move for Sly. And the one I got was a staff, you hit triangle, and he flies at an enemy with the staff, in a whirly bird type thing. I beat the boss. I moved on to the next level. I got the first 3 keys out of that pretty quick and unlocked the second. It's seeming like there's a pattern, you get 3 keys in the first 3 worlds, to unlock the second part of that same world where you'll need 4 more, and then you'll get to the boss. At least this one is following that first world. And this one is in a comedic take on Las Vegas. And his name is Mugshot with 2 G's. He's a bulldog with a cigar. And the enemies have cigars. There's these Dobermans, and if they kill you, they have guns, right? And if they see you, they have AK-47s. If they see you, it's an immediate death. There's no way around it. You can't run from them. You can't get around the corner. Nothing. They'll kill you. If you have a horseshoe, you can try to run, but they'll kill you. So as you die, it's almost that Crash Bandicoot thing of remember how you would die and Crash would, if you jumped in ice, he'd be shivering as he came up. The Doberman start shooting the AK-47s up in the air they won this major victory. I'm like, what is happening? You just shot me, and they're like, oh, and then I have to start over that part.
As one does, Point Break style.
I laughed at it, man. I couldn't help but laugh at it. I died a couple more times. I was like, oh shit, this happened. Some of the checkpoints on Sly Cooper are, I'm guessing with 2 and 3 they get a little bit more liberal with that, but some of the checkpoints, man, you'll get past 3 or 4 crazy ass platforming sections or stealth sections, and you'll die, and I'm like, okay, where was I at? And then I'm right back at the beginning of the level. It's like, shit. But it looked good on that TV, man. It plays well. I don't know if the second and third ones, when I get onto them, if the camera, you can invert the camera properly, because I'm still fighting the camera. As soon as my natural mode of zooming it around, I guess I'm used to inverted, because there's no option to reverse the camera. But Sly Cooper remains pretty good. I popped in Prince of Persia on Xbox and started it off. I did this like 6 months ago, right before I moved, and I realized this was not the same Xbox that I had hooked up, so it wasn't the same game save. So I played a little bit of that, and then was like, nope, I'm not doing this again. I'll come back to my save because I was like 2 hours in maybe, which isn't much, but you don't want to do all that intro shit again where they're teaching you mechanics and press X to pull out your sword and stuff.
It's like that that tweet I sent you, right?
Yeah, you pick up a game save from from some time ago, and you're like,
I don't
where
remember,
am I?
I don't recall
recognize
any
this world.
of this.
I don't recall
Was that
any
what,
of
Gandalf?
this.
I don't recall.
Yeah, that's worse was with RPGs. I tried that with Final Fantasy X, and I'm on this airship finally, and like the Albed are in shambles, and somebody took Yuna, and I'm trying to figure out what's happening. I did that with what was the PS3 to Vita to PS4 cross saving? It had a different term. It wasn't cross save.
Transference or something.
It wasn't transfarring either. That was the Konami version. It might have been cross save. Is that the right term?
You mean the Kojima one?
The Kojima one was transfarring.
Yeah, he always had to come up with some freaking phrase.
So stupid. But I popped in Xbox Notable Showcase Splinter Cell. I played the first mission of that, where you're kind of going through the training simulator and that kind of stuff. Looked great on it was more of a test for the TV than anything, because I did the same with GameCube. I popped a GameCube in there with S-Video and loaded up Metroid Prime save and experience what Cesar was just talking about. What I don't what was that? I don't recognize any of this. I don't recall
any of this. Just looking around.
I don't recall any of this.
Just looking around like crazy.
It's probably like 3 or 4 hours into Metroid Prime, and it wasn't anything crazy. But I do know last time I played that was on Wii, and there's something about playing on native GameCube. I mean, the Wii, I would never argue against using a Wii for GameCube support. You got component cables that are cheap. You got the 4 controller ports. You got 2 memory card ports. You're literally taking no hit by playing it on Wii, and I haven't seen any graphical difference. There's videos that'll nitpick this versus this, like progressive scan. But if you have GameCube component cables, we're not even having this discussion, right? And what I was getting to, there's something about that GameCube boot screen, and you don't get that on the Wii, even when you're playing a backwards compatible stuff. So there's a special little bit to that. The other games I played Friday night, I had my late night buddy stayed up with me, my oldest child. They wanted to play a game as I was watching football and also playing a game. So I had recently gotten them Kim Possible, What's the Switch on PS2, which is actually a very good platformer, I have to say. I'm watching this go down. I had read that, and I got it for him. Like, okay, this will be a decent game. It plays similar to I would say like a Klonoa or a, what's another 2.5D? Like Toomba, maybe? Where you're still on a 2D plane, or Pandemonium. Y'all remember that? Pandemonium for Saturn and PS1 and Engage. I had it for Engage. But you'll be going along a 2D plane, but it'll rotate. So as Kim Possible, and it has the feature, Brant, that we talked about on Crash 4. The multiplayer is not true 2-player, 2-controller multiplayer. It will just, as you die, you go to a screen that says, please pass controller to player 2. And then you go back and forth based off of that. And I was like, man, this game's in this game from this long ago. And but with the 2.5D type stuff, you'll be going along a plane, and you'll see, like, we were in a museum, so there were knights with swords, and the sword would, it would drop, and then it would come back up, and you would have to time it, right? But as you're looking ahead of you, there's like 3 knights ahead of you, and it's spinning around that 3D plane, And it didn't look 100% true to the TV show. I'm not super up on the Kim Possible lore, but I'm familiar with the characters at least. And it didn't look exactly like them, but it was this weird soft palette cell shading that really held up on the CRT that she was playing on. So we actually had a good time with that. She also played some of the true... It's funny, we mentioned Crash Bandicoot 4. She played some of the true Crash Bandicoot 4. Not the bastard one that Brant played. And got further in that than she's ever gotten. She's getting better at the camera controls and that kind of stuff. So Halo, the true Crash Bandicoot 4, Kim Possible, What's the Switch? A little bit of Splinter Cell. A little bit of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, and a little bit of Sly Cooper. That's it for me. A tinkering weekend,
Well done.
bookended by rounds of Halo and adult beverages while Haloing. What you guys got? Who's next?
Yeah, I saw Brent saw my link I put on there.
Oh yeah.
Would you post to us, sir, mid conversation?
I have no memory of this place.
It's is it the Gandalf? Is it the Gandalf meme we were describing?
It's Gandalf.
Oh man.
I have no memories of it. I do not recall this place.
It's
That's what I felt like in some of those save games. I'm like, oh god, I don't know. It's time to start over.
It's up to you, Brent. You want to go? I literally have one game, but mine may be a little bit long.
okay.
Because I put like 20 hours into that one game. So.
Oh wow. Well, I've got. I played a few games of Super Mario 35. Still no win. But
What's the highest you gotten?
Second. I keep getting second place and then just getting outfoxed.
I got to third, and after that, I've only played once, and I got to third, and I was like, yes. And I'm like, eh.
Yeah, after a few times, I mean, you get it. Like
Cesar, what's your highest?
No, that's why I've only played it once. I got to third.
That was it.
That was it. I was like, oh, I had enough.
One and done.
It's fun and it's interesting, but yeah, even I'm starting to get like, well, nah, do I really need the win?
How many hours do you have into it though?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Come on, Brand.
I'd have to look for
Finish the drill.
The biggest thing that I did get into.
Days Gone.
No Days Gone.
With its new 5 gig
turn
patch.
that off. Well, first off, since I mentioned it, I did download the demo for Hyrule Warriors, and played all through that today, which took
all through the demo.
Which took
the one episode.
I don't know, maybe an hour, maybe a little less than an hour to just get through.
It's not very long.
Gosh, it's fun. It's a Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors type gameplay, but with it in that Zelda Breath of the Wild world, and you're running around, and there's like you use ZR to like quick aim with each different character's like special ability. So like Link, if you press that, it immediately brings up the bow and arrow, and you just aim it and let go, and he just like does like this quick shot of volleys of arrows, and then just all the different moves that he can do. It's super satisfying. It's very, very satisfying. Nice. And to answer your question, it says played for 10 hours or more on as far as Super Mario Bros. 35.
Well done.
Ooh. Sounds like our PUBG clock. So sorry. 87 hours per win.
I don't know. Shit, I don't even remember. I have to go look at the Xbox app and see where I was at on PUBG. Now you mention it. It was bad that one year. I think because you double me, because there was. I mean, I know you were playing some games with multiple groups.
It's literally been almost 3 years since I won a PUBG round, since I got a chicken dinner. 2.5 minimum.
But the thing that I spent the most time on, because it came out Friday, well, at least the physical version of the game came out Friday.
Oh, the other Zelda game of the week. What do you think?
I really enjoyed this. For those not watching, that was a Cadence of Hyrule, and
trust me,
Crypt of the Zelda Mancer.
Trust me, none of us seen it. It was all blurred for me, so
it flaked out big time. We saw your poster.
We knew what it was briefly. But yeah.
So I really enjoyed Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is technically, I guess, the first game in the series. It's a lot more difficult than this title is. This title is definitely a lot more approachable, and, I did actually enjoy that about this. I did enjoy the story. I did enjoy the gameplay. I did enjoy the music. I did enjoy the I sat down with it. I think it was late Friday, and just played a little bit of it, um, and then finished it up Monday. The main story. This,
Okay.
of course, the physical copy comes with the DLC that was announced a few months ago, already on the
Yep.
cartridge. Um,
That's the
so
big
I'll
thing.
dive into
Mm-hmm.
that. The biggest thing was like Saturday, I sat down with my son, and he was sitting there on his Switch, and I put this on and start playing it, and then he stops playing what he's playing to watch me. I'm like, "You want to play?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." So I mean, immediately.
So what do you do in the Necrodancer slash Cadence? What sets it apart from a normal dungeon crawler or Zelda game? What's the main difference in
So
those?
the biggest thing is, yes, it's a what they call, I guess, a rhythmic dungeon crawler, action adventure game. It's kind of hard to explain. It's what it is you're only able to move a single spot at a time. So your character just kind
Right.
of hops from place to place. Um, and the objective is to time your jumps, attacks, uses of items, things like that, with the beat of the music in the area you're in. Um, and that will up your multiplier, get you better rewards because you collect, once you beat at least in Cadence of Hyrule, once you beat the enemies in the area, because the art style of this game is linked to the past, and it's very
Right.
much linked to the past, like world map style. So I mean, you walk to the edge of the screen, and that scrolls you into another part of the map, and that one section is where you're going to stay until you walk to one of the cardinal directions, and that's going to scroll you to
Right.
another part of the map. Um,
So do you head to dungeons in the traditional
yes.
sense?
So I mean, there's
Okay.
there's there's all the dungeons, all the same enemies that you'd see from most Zelda games. They're a little updated from um, Link to the Past, so you'll see like Lionels and
It's almost like a
Bokoblins. Yeah,
Minish Cap take on Link to the Past, like a 3D-ish, 2D-ish art style.
but
It looks
oh yeah,
beautiful.
but you get these diamonds, and the better you keep with the beat and things like that, the more you're going to collect, and those are
Right.
used to buy certain items in the game, or once you die, you're able to pick from a random generated set of items, and they're helpful, and you can use your currency to buy some of those items. And so once you get to a single area of the map, you beat all the enemies in that area, and then you can move freely. You don't have to constantly only move your one space at a time, keeping with the beat through every single thing. And the biggest thing with this is Cadence is kind of thrown into this world. She doesn't know where she's at. Um,
So Cadence is an actual character. It's not just the musical take on the lore.
no, Cadence is. Let's see if I can unblur here. There we go. So
Is it like a Zelda princess?
Cadence. It,
Oh God. Visual viewers, it's a blonde-haired chick with a shovel knight,
yeah,
basically.
she's blonde haired, shovel, has a blue like bandana. She's voiced by a amazing female streamer named Elspeth. Um, she's great streamer, great voice actress. Um, but she's kind of thrown into this world, and she, of course, her world is all the rhythmic dungeon crawling. Um, and in this, a mysterious character, Octavio, comes to Hyrule, uh, starts putting the
Otto, is it Otto Octavio?
no, this weird little elf-looking gremlin guy who's got like a golden lute, and uh, starts putting all of the putting all of Hyrule to sleep, and yeah, has all these monsters everywhere. So
I like it. You got to dance them awake.
As Cadence, you run through the first little dungeons, and then you choose from two different portals to jump through and awaken one of the two heroes of Hyrule. So you either choose to wake Zelda or Link first, and then you continue with the game, and you eventually will unlock the other character. And then of course with the DLC, they have like Skull Kid, and there's a few other people, and it's just an amazingly fun game. Like I was talking,
I've heard some of the music from it, like the takes on those classic Zelda themes and such.
So let's see.
Oh, he's got something for us. Live. Copyright infringement. Nintendo takedown. Uh-oh. Link's Awakening.
EDM stuff.
EDM Link's Awakening.
So, like all of the
is that Tall Heights?
Mm,
I think that's the name. I think that's where it's from.
Yeah. But and not all of it's like that electronic style. A lot of them have different takes on music, different genre style of music.
Yeah.
And your main objective in the game, of course, is to get to the castle and defeat Octavio. And to do this, you have to beat his 4 champions that, of course, are all music themed and have their own instruments. So you fight an enemy that has an oboe, one that has a glockenspiel, one that's basically a fancy xylophone.
That's not what I've picked.
A bass guitar and maracas. So the weirdest band that you could ever think of.
It works.
It sounds like the Majora's Mask band, right? Isn't that just about them?
Just about.
Band from Star Wars, first movie.
From the Cantina.
Cantina.
Yeah, the Cantina band.
Nah, it's a hard game to describe, and it's one that you have to really sit down and take the time to kind of get into the groove.
Like the
I really didn't want to throw that like pun in there. But
it works. Put it on the back of the box.
But
Brant McKee, give it time to get in the groove.
Once you start getting that, moving with the beat, attacking with the beat, it becomes very, very fun. It's very addicting. And like I said, with the original Crypt of the Necrodancer, and this one, everything's randomly generated, so no 2 worlds are the same. If you die, you go back into a dungeon. The layout's going to be different. And with Cadence, you would go through and you would have several layers. So you'd have like level 1, and you'd go through several different layers of this dungeon, and then you'd get to the boss and have to defeat the boss of that level before you could move on to level 2. If you died somewhere in that dungeon, if you got just horrible luck and got shit items, or you immediately get in and you're starting to walk, and then all of a sudden a dragon bursts through the wall, you're screwed and you have to start all over. And the thing with Cadence was those gems and things you got, you had to spend them on a power up or a perk or things like that, or just lose them. This game, like I said, is a lot more approachable. You keep them; they amass over time. There's
you're saying it in Crypt of the Necromancer, you would lose them.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah. But in Cadence, of Hyrule, they accumulate, and because it's more kind of like a mishmash of a Zelda title, you have your key items, your hook shot and things like that.
Boomerang.
Yeah, you keep. There's still like the regular items that you would have, like that are just that allow you like defense buffs or certain little things here and there, that you keep for a limited time. That if you die, you would lose those, but it's one of those things. They're random. You're gonna find another one very quickly, so it's not that big a deal. Um, but yeah,
Is there a demo for this one? Because I keep seeing Crypt of the Necromancer or Necro Dancer. I'm gonna mess that up forever. I always want to try it. I don't know if it's for me, but it's definitely something I want to try. There are demos available.
I don't know if there's a demo for Crypt of the Necrodancer.
But that game's
There,
like $3.99. It's
yeah,
always on sale for like less than $5.
yeah, it's extremely cheap.
Okay.
It's a good game.
And it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, yes, it's
It's
a
like
little
you
bit
said.
harder.
Yeah, it's not as forgiving. It's because you get murdered very easily as you see everybody come towards you if you're not playing all the right
And
moves.
like I
Get
said,
murdered.
those dragons they're fucking horrible. They're enemies that'll just burst through the wall. They take up a big portion of the screen, and it's horrible. But with this Cadence, there is a demo of Cadence of Hyrule. Um, it's a pretty good demo too, and I
I might try
I
that
definitely give it a shot. And this game wasn't too expensive from what I remember.
It's like 29, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say I think it was 29.
Because I think
Um,
because the DLC is like 15 or 20 by itself,
Yeah.
right?
and I enjoyed it a lot. Um I stand by this game, so I have no problem supporting it.
It sounds like something I don't know if the gameplay is going to click with me, but it sounds like a good avenue for more Zelda music to enjoy, which I'm always down for.
Oh yeah,
Kind of like Hyrule Warriors. Like, all right, here's some more Zelda spin on music with the characters you love, the graphics from Breath of the Wild, and Musou gameplay. You know, this is that perfect twist. So that does sound pretty
yeah.
good,
And
Brant.
that's a
Yeah.
big thing with this game is the music kicks. It's so good.
it's a music game. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it's a music game essentially.
Right, because it defines the jumps and all that stuff.
But I was wrong. It's $39.99.
It's 39.
Mm-hmm.
$40 game. Support your physical copy that actually comes with an updated version and DLC, which I'm always down
It
for.
includes all the DLC. I think all 3 pieces of DLC when they made that
Mhm.
announcement.
Not bad. Brent, did you play anything else, or is that your list?
That was it. I beat that and played a little bit of 35, and then today was that demo.
Played a lot of 35. Don't lie to us.
Not
10
not
plus
this week,
hours.
Not this week.
10 plus hours. No wins.
I think I might have done what you. Yeah, I kind of forgot about it because I did what you said, where it popped in an old game that I haven't played in a very very long time, and it's just kind of like I don't know where I am. I don't know I can't remember what the hell the story was. I'm sitting there with a controller trying to remember what goes
What was
where.
it? What did you pop
Sunset Overdrive.
That would be hard to go back to.
It was very hard to go back to.
I still remember where I'm at in that game. It wasn't that far. I think it was right after they introduced you to that character that's kind of running the whole show, and he's telling you like, do this, do that. I don't think I got anywhere in the story part.
I think that's as far as I got.
I was
too.
apparently decently into the story because I got into it after I played around and kind of picked up the controls again. I did this mission where we like snuck out of the city, and then I was, oh yeah, we were trying to escape the city, and then you get like this call saying that the evil soda company is trying to destroy the city now. They're trying to like destroy the evidence, so you have to go back into the city to save your friends. And aside from these weird mutant soda zombies, there's now giant robots. So I played a little bit with that, and that's a kooky Insomniac game. That was really out there for them, but it was pretty fun.
It was a gamble.
It was pretty fun, but it was very. It was hard to pick it back up after so long, and
I think that's going to go down as one of those, as we close this generation, it's going to go down as one of those highlights of the Xbox One,
It was a good game.
before it came to PC and all that. Yeah.
I mean, it's got a lot of fans in there, and so I mean, there's a lot of people who believe that game always wanted a sequel. They felt like it would have done better if they got another chance.
Right.
But I have those issues too when I put in games like that, where I was like, all right, let me play 5 more minutes and see if I remember where the fuck. Because I think that's what happened with me at Tales of Berseria. Somehow I got sidetracked, and I went and was like, oh, let me just start over. And I was like, it was 20 fucking hours to get to where I was at, and going through it, I didn't forget anything at all. I don't know why I pretend I did. I remembered everything. I was like, fuck, I still remember it now because I had to go through it twice. So. And yeah. I don't know. My memory's usually pretty good on games. It's not too bad, unless it's like some psychotherapy type game where I'm laying here like, what?
Or something you weren't invested in,
Do I even care at this point? Why is this being?
All right, Cesar, what's your 120-hour game, if you can recall where you were, unlike Gandalf?
Oh, mine's easy, man. I'm still in my visual novel bullshit. So,
It's the year of the visual novel.
Because I finished up all the Steins Gate ones, and the ones that are...
And that was Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero, right?
Yeah, and then Steins Gate Elite, which is a retelling of the Steins Gate Uno. And I don't know what happened, because, you saw that stuff on Jimatsu where they just had their own little thing where they announced a whole bunch of more games in that universe coming out.
Yep.
So in my, I know Richard's already seen this. So in my Steins Gate Phantomonium right now I got going on there, this came in.
Phantomonium.
And it put
for our
360.
For our video or our audio listeners, that is what for Xbox 360?
The original Steins Gate. This is what originally came out on there. This is
the very first one.
Platinum Collection. This includes the DLC, so I don't have to actually have a Japanese credit card to buy the DLC. This came in today, which is a Steins Gate side story for PS3.
PS3, and that one's called what?
I think it was like Reminiscent Hearts, if I remember correctly. It was like a weird dating game or something like that. We got it on PS4 over here. And then I got the original Steins Gate for PSP. This came in today, too.
Nice. Are any of these in English?
No.
None of them.
None of them whatsoever. The 361 plays completely different from the one on PS3, though. There's extra scenes in there that I didn't see before. And
is that the definitive one?
It's just,
or is that just the first?
They streamlined it on PS3 because it's a little bit more. It was a little bit more harder because like the one I played on 360, you actually have to dial and contact people and know their phone numbers. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? I never had to do that in the PS3 one because they can just go to contact list and you already have their phone numbers in there. You can actually dial stuff in there and do stuff, different shit on your phone, which is cool and all.
Did they expect you to take notes?
I guess you had to go through the game so many times that you just see that stuff because it's not really blatantly obvious where they'll have those contact information. And you get random stuff if you call people randomly too. It's a little bit different.
Are you sure it's not like Metal Gear Solid and you've got to look on the back of the box?
It sounds like the damn codec.
Well, because
140.96.
Yeah, because I mean the original Steins Gate, everything's done through that phone. I mean when he does a time leap, since you have to have the phone to transfer your memories because like I said before, originally it uses that machine to take your memories from your frontal lobe. It converts it to binary ones and zeros. It uses the hydrogen collider to shrink the data because he said for the human mind it was 3.72 terabytes, but the phone can only transfer data sizes of 64 kilobytes. So they use a hydrogen collider to.
That's a massive difference.
To compress the data, and what it does is they send that data through the phone. So when you call yourself on the cell phone, it goes through there and it decodes it. So that way, that person's able to leap into the past and take their memories from 48 hours from the future with them. It replants everything in there. And then don't get me started on what happens when you start taking somebody else's memories and put it in somebody else's mind. That causes. They kind of warned that in the original.
Final Fantasy 7.
They warned that in the original Steins Gate, and then they actually did in Steins Gate 0. So somebody had their memories all jumbled up, and they didn't know who they were because they were recalling stuff that happened, they were recalling stuff that didn't happen, and they were losing some of their personality. Because the whole point of that, the Steins Gate, is that your memories make up the personality of you, who you are. So if you have somebody else's memories in there, it alters your personality. So it's either here or there. That's not the game I played. So anything in if you ever look at Steins Gate, I mentioned before, it's called the Science Adventure series. I think they might have actually had it on one of these in here or whatever, because I think they started labeling them as such.
Science Adventure series.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. But so it's like kind of like just think of it as your Marvel universe where everything happens in the single world. You can differentiate if it takes place in that world. It has a semicolon in the title, so you have Steins semicolon Gate. So why I bring that up is because the original graphic novel that started it all was called Chaos Head. So it was Chaos semicolon Head, and instead of it being a science-based one, it was more of a supernatural type game. This one originally came on 360, and in Japan, it was later ported to the PC, and it was later ported to the PS3. We never officially got an English release, so I had to watch the anime, which was done by Madhouse, surprisingly, and the animation was pretty good. I didn't realize Madhouse did it, and this came out like 2008, and it's a short one, it's like 12 episodes. And so just to get the basis of this idea, and this all leads to something, so just bear with me here. So once you
strap in,
when you play when you watch Chaos Head, you start out with this. It's like a shut-in NEET. He's living in like a cargo ship container. And all he does is watch anime, and he keeps like a spreadsheet of how many days he can skip school before he gets kicked out of school, and he just doesn't go to school at all.
Nice. He's a planner.
Yeah.
Instead of just winging it.
Trying to remember. I had it all pulled up, but my phone crashed on me.
He's consulting his notes.
Yeah, because it's easy. I'm trying to get the names on here. So, yeah, I was right. So his name is Takumi. He lives in a cargo crate on the roof. And so he's the whole point of Chaos Head is that they have a delusion system. So there's no time base like it was in Steins Gate. So you can have either a positive delusion or a negative one. So in the anime one, he, you know how we, as human beings, we have delusions where we kind of fantasize stuff that doesn't actually happen. So
all the time.
So his delusions are like really, really lifelike. So he has like this, he believes in 2D anime girls versus real girls. So like he has this anime with this girl like Sane where he watches and that he actually imagines her to be real, that pretends to be his wife. And he's actually having conversations and interacting with her. And so you find out that he has a sister. The sister comes by and visits him, and it's weird. He gets rolled up into this thing where somebody's showing him these murders in Shibuya. So in Shibuya they call it the New Gen murders, and so they're saying he has this clairvoyance where he can see the future because they trace how he's seeing all these murders before they happen. He sees them like a day before they happen, and so they're saying that he showed it to himself. And so the police are running this investigation and they're finding out, all right, so he's like a suspect for these killings, and the killings are weird. Like they call the die fall where it was a bunch of 4 teenagers jumped off the roof of a hospital and they died. There's one they call the pregnant man where somebody had something sewed into his stomach and he died. There's one called the crucifix where somebody had all these crosses and he was stabbed against the wall and bled to death. And so like I said, this is like supernatural type stuff. They call it the New Gen murders. So as he goes through, he meets these girls, and these girls are he starts seeing these weapons they call D swords, DI swords, and so they keep telling him like you should have one too, and he's confused. So he doesn't know why he can see these swords, nobody else can, why they're carrying around these swords or whatnot.
Where do they come from?
Yeah, so that's the whole point. He spends like the half the show trying to figure out how to get his own D sword because one of the girls says he should have one. He should be able to see the errors. And he's like, errors? What are you talking about errors? So like he said, there's errors like in the computer, errors in reality. It's like they're like, don't believe everything you see. So he learns later that the D swords are like weapons that you can pull from another dimension. So they can use these illusions, and they're called giglomaniacs. They have the ability to create things and use things that doesn't really exist in reality and make it true. And people can they take the negative particles from these dimensions and put it in people's minds so they can perceive it to be real. There's a power that only a handful of people have, apparently. So you later learn that there's a Nozomi group in Shibuya who's making a Noah 2 machine. So as you go through, you figure out, okay, the main villain is this group who is creating a Noah 2 machine because they want the same power that they have. They want to be able to create stuff out of thin air, like they're using it to torment people, but if they wanted to create money and whatever they have, it shapes it, it becomes real, it becomes reality, it's accepted by everybody. And so they have this giant machine they call Noah 2, which is where they have everybody from that company's wearing these backpacks and they're kind of spreading around town. So they're creating these like false images, like there's like a runaway construction machine killing people, and so it's like they're using it to test this machine. So these girls are like they're called like the Seven Knights or something, like they've been around since the Crusades or something like that. So it's like they're the descendants of them, and so they're there to stop that machine because originally only 7 of these people have this power. So as you go through it, you find out that the main character Takumi, I guess the twist in it was that he wasn't real at all. He was a delusion himself. The original Takumi actually thought him up because he needed somebody to go around town and do the work for him. Because unfortunately, he had a disease where he stopped aging at the age of 10. And then he rapidly aged when he was at 20. So he was like 20 years old in the hospital, but he looked like a 90-year-old man.
Damn.
So he created him out of his delusion.
That's what we all fear.
To, go around and investigate these new gen murders. So that guy ends up dying. He ends up passing whatever his consciousness to the delusion so the delusion can be real. And so it got weird because he started figuring out like he couldn't remember certain stuff from his childhood. Like somebody's like, you wrote this equation. You wrote the equation that created the machine. He's like, I don't even remember that. He's like, he couldn't recall anything from his childhood. And that's when he realized, okay, he was just created months ago. He never lived that life. He tried to go back home and his home wasn't even there. And so like his sister that he thought it was his sister was actually the sister for the older Takumi. She was getting confused too. So that older Takumi ended up sacrificing himself and passing his consciousness on to this delusion so he can actually be a real person. That was the what they call the true ending. So at the end of it, when they stop the Noah machine, this is where it gets all to. At the end of it, when they stop the Noah machine to stop the delusions, the Noah machine creates a huge earthquake in Shibuya. So this is where this whole science adventure thing takes place, kind of like the whole Marvel thing, where everything goes down this route. So it's 2009. They have this huge earthquake in Shibuya, and it destroys this part of Tokyo, and they have to rebuild. So this is where, and that earthquake is referenced in Steins Gate, and that's also referenced in Robotic. The other visual novels in there, it all takes place. So when you get to Steins Gate, that's the one where I told you where they have the different world lines. That's where things start changing. So after that point, when they get to the Steins Gate world line, everything is on that world line. It takes place on that world line going forward. So to make a long story short, I apologize to get to this point. Chaos Head is not a game I can play here, but
we're here.
But the sequel,
we made it.
There is a sequel called Chaos Child. That's what I'm playing. It's on PS4. It's on Vita. So Chaos Child takes place on the Steins Gate world line, and it takes place 6 years after Chaos Head. It's after Shibuya is already rebuilt from the earthquake, and you play as Taku, a kid who's suffering from Chaos Child syndrome, who was a survivor from the earthquake because he witnessed his parents got killed by robbers. As soon as the earthquake happened, like it was anarchy, all hell broke loose, and like there was women getting raped, there was murders happening. It's like all law and order just went out the window with it.
Not good.
He's running. He works for a school newspaper where he's running an investigation where he's looking into murders, similar to what happened in the first game. So this game opens up, and it opens up with a guy who works as like a streaming, like kind of like Twitch, where he developed a program where he can figure out how to accurately predict, like let's say like the NFL draft or NBA draft. It's like but it was the idols over there, Japanese idols. So he is having a live stream on TV, and somebody knocks on his door. They come in, and he's trying to like give the impression that he's poor, but he's actually pretty rich because he's making money off these subscribers. I think it was like 5,000 at the time, which is a lot at that time period. So he takes this block of cheese out of the fridge, and he ends up cutting it. There was a knock at the door. They came in. They don't show him on camera, so he's having a hard time cutting this cheese, and so.
I get the joke. I get the joke you're making.
So the person offered to help him. So he ends up, they just like, you got to cut it like this. And slice it through, slice it through. And so when he brought back the plate, he was under a delusion. He thought it was sliced cheese there. It was actually his arm sliced off. And he ended up bleeding out live on the stream. And he was eating his thumb.
The fuck?
He thought it was
my God, no.
He thought it was
what
a piece of cheese. So he broke out of the delusion and saw what happened and streaming it live. So they called that murder the Don't Look at Me. And so the next one.
Gross.
The next one they had was a singer for a band, and she was not very popular in school, and so she's like in this band where she has to dress up like a goth person, and she doesn't like it. somebody had one on her website, like, her personal website with her own personal songs. It's like, you can do it, go with that route. And she's basically like, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore. She threw away all her costumes. And she's like, you know what, I'm just going to start small, write some more songs, go to the park. And, she had an idea where she was going to use a Bluetooth speaker and kind of record a song every night and play it on the park and all that, and kind of like differentiate and make it different.
That sounds beautiful. Please tell me what god-awful ending she came to.
Because she didn't want to sing live in public, because every time she sung live, it's like people try to peer into her soul. It was some kind of darkness she saw in people. So she was scared to sing live. She was going to do it through a Bluetooth speaker. And then you heard a knock on the door. Then it goes to I forgot what it was called, but it goes a little bit later when it goes to Taku when he's researching it. So apparently they found her slumped in the park playing, and she was singing through a Bluetooth speaker that was sewn into her stomach, and she ended up bleeding to death.
This checks out.
So they find out, he goes through and he's researching for this newspaper at school. I don't know why he's researching. He's a kid. But he finds out that these murders...
What kind of fucked up school does he go to?
Well, this is all from the Shibuya rebuild. So he finds out that all these murders take place on the same day as the murders that happened, and the New Gen murders happened in the first game. So the exact same day, just 6 years apart. So somebody's recreating all these different murders in a different style. Because he ends up, he knows when the next murder is going to happen. It's like, if it follows this pattern, I know it's going to happen this day because it happened this day 6 years ago. So he ends up getting a call from the school. He runs into a love hotel. They have a lot of love hotels in Japan. That's what it is. So he ends up sneaking in there.
Nintendo. Was it a Nintendo one?
Sure.
Do they still have theirs? Remember, that was a thing.
I have no idea. I don't research love hotels. I think the first time I remember seeing a love hotel is when they put it in this game. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that's the thing. Or maybe with the occasional anime one or two, because there's always some kind of bit in the anime, where they always go in the love hotel but never do anything, but they always use the shower. But that's always a bit. Yeah, trust me. Brant watches a lot of anime. It happens a lot, and nothing happens. It's always like it's a bad impression. Somebody always sees them leave. It's like, oh, they left. Blah 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 blah. And it's like,
let's just go wash our bodies in the shower.
Well, it's usually only the girl that does it, and the guy's waiting out there like, why am I here? That's usually how it is. It's a whole bit that you do in animes a lot. Nothing really happens.
A trope.
Yeah, it's a trope. There we go.
So
he ends up sneaking into the hotel and with his childhood friend, and the door is locked because they see a cop down there. He's trying to regulate everything. He's like, I need help immediately. I need backup. And they kind of sneak by him, go up there, and they go to the floor where they kind of saw this window open. They could hear like some music playing. And so they didn't break into the room, like somebody had unlocked the door from the inside. And they were like, okay. So they opened it up and went in there. But all they found in there was a police officer with his head bashing into a mirror, knocked unconscious. Some girl that looked like about 15 years old passed out facing the ground. And then they looked over to the bed, and there was a guy with these wires wrapped around his head on this revolving bed that was revolving to the sound of the music. And so,
not surprised. This all checks out.
Slowly, his head just pops off towards the end of it. And so he records everything, and he's like like I said, he's trying to be a reporter. He records everything, and he ends up passing out when the head flops on him. So, because like the blood splatters on him.
To be expected.
What's funny is that the girl woke up and started staring at him. She was bleeding from her eyes. So it goes into this whole bit where he gets taken in from the cops. The cops is like does a slap in the hands, like, don't do it again. Don't sneak in. Don't do bad stuff. Blah blah blah. They deleted his video, and so he's trying to research these new gen murders because he's trying to figure out that he suffers from this chaos child syndrome. Like I said earlier, that's why the game's called Chaos Child, where he's like, these people that were affected by the Shibuya earthquake are kind of trying to come to terms with what happened. So he doesn't have his parents anymore. He's living in he moved out of this house because he was living like in a group, like a foster home, where he was adopted from like a doctor, and he had like these brothers and sisters that weren't actually blood. They were all just like foster kids that got adopted together. So he found out they were hiding that his parents were actually murdered. They didn't die from the earthquake. So he got pissed, left in the park, and he's like living in a park in like some kind of old trolley. And it's like which has electricity and all that kind of bullshit. So he's
boxcar children.
So I'm on chapter 3. This is like the first 20 hours of the game. So I'm on chapter 3. So there's already been 3 murders. And the first game there were 6 total. So the next one's coming up soon. The girl that he ran into in the hotel he ran into her into the school, and she was like a completely different person. And I think she came up close to him and told him that he was going to be the next one that's going to die, and just left the room. So she knows more of what's going on. She has like you find out that the cops are working with her. She's kind of like she was in that room for a reason, but she didn't commit the murder. And so you go through and he's trying to figure out what's going on, and then slowly there's somebody working in the background that's aware of what he's doing, and they're saying that he's the next victim. So you're trying to go through and make sure you're not going to get killed as you try to figure out who's doing all these new killings now. So
it sounds like it's got a lot to go forward. You got plenty of chapters to go.
yeah, I'm only about like a third of it through. Yeah. It's probably gonna be like my Steins Gate Zero. It's probably gonna be about a 50-hour game. So yeah, this all takes place in that whole universe. Where,
sounds good.
And you'll get references from other games like Makusei's handle from At Channel, which is like their version of 4chan in that game. They call it At Channel. You can see her posting on there and see her posting like she basically calls all that supernatural shit rubbish because she's a scientist, but she's from the Steins Gate universe. And then you have Takumi from the first game.
She's the Scully of the two.
You have Takumi from the first game, who was a gigalomaniac who knows about the delusions and everything. There's a story bit on there where he's posting on Twitter and you following him and he's kind of guiding you along and kind of explaining everything. He was the one that experienced everything in the first game. And so like you get those references kind of like you would in Marvel from all those games together. So like I said, Jimatsu did that stream recently where they didn't do the stream, but they did a stream from Jimatsu covered it for Mages. Yeah. And they talked about Anomalous Code, which takes place in 2036. And that's also in the Steins Gate universe because 2036 is originally in Steins Gate was the end of World War III. So I don't know what timeline or world line they're in that one because in that preview they showed Makusei, which I'm assuming maybe Amadeus, which is the AI version. So I don't know what the fuck's going on when I watch that trailer, but it just all depends whenever that comes out. So
yeah.
But yeah, basically all these stories are intertwined. They're all visual novels. If you ever want to get into them, I think there's anime adaptations of all of them. There's even anime adaptation for Chaos Child. I'm thinking about it. I think all of them have been adapted to anime at some point, and I think they're all owned by Funimation. So
pretty cool. They took these stories and condensed them for rapid consumption.
Yeah.
Is that it, sir? Your 20 hours of Chaos Child?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I played. I mean, I'll finish that up hopefully this week. Because I was gonna do Trails, but I gotta finish 3. So
we're officially over the 2-hour mark. We made it somehow. It doesn't even feel like it's been 2 hours, right?
Get my Cliff Notes version of the whole fucking Science Adventure series.
I like it. You condensed 20 hours into 45 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. You could. Go ahead.
No, I say, but yeah, Chaos Child's good. I mean, it fits that whole horror, supernatural feel right around the Halloween right now, and
yeah, it's for October.
It's completely different from like Steins Gate, which is more science based and thriller based, and this one's more of a like horror esque, and it's thriller too, but it keeps you guessing because I still don't know what the fuck's going on yet, and I'm like,
you got twisting beds and wires popping people's heads off,
or even why anybody's doing it again. So another thing before we leave is another thing they have in common between all these games is that they don't really have a name for the people in Chaos Head, but in Steins Gate you find out the people who are running CERN, who's trying to control the timelines and who's trying to control time machines, they're called the Committee of 300, and it's like 300 people who, or it's like I don't know if there's 300 people they haven't said, but there's a committee of people who are above governments. Like governments don't run them; they run governments.
Like a shadow organization.
And so apparently they're the ones running behind the scenes in this Chaos Child too. They're the villain throughout all these visual novels as well. They have their hands on all these people's lives somehow. So they weren't really there. I think they probably started in the first Chaos Head because they were called the Nozomi Corporation. I think from that point they evolved to the organization of 300. That's what they call them. And so from there they're always the enemy in all these Science Adventure series ones. So that enemy carries across. So
all right, Science Adventure enemies. All right. You guys got anything before we get out of here?
No.
Nothing.
We summarized it all in a very concise, lucid 2 hours. You can catch this podcast on iTunes, Google Play Store, SoundCloud, our host, wherever your RSS feed aggregator of choice is. We're on YouTube and Twitch. It seems like every Wednesday night we do 8 o'clock. Maybe that's subject to change. We seem to all be tired on Wednesday, so maybe that's that's something we switch up here soon. Try to bring some more energy to the show. You guys got anything else going on? Anything you want to add?
No,
That's it. It's late. Let's get the hell out of here.
I think, because the next month's gonna get crazy.
Yep.
Yep.
New consoles, your November releases, so whatever you're playing Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed and all that on, whether it's new or old.
Call of Duty's all I really care about at this point.
You want you some Black Ops Cold War, huh?
I only want that campaign. I can care less about the multiplayer. I'll probably put like 1 hour multiplayer. I just want
Straight
that.
to the campaign.
I'm gonna uninstall that multiplayer since I can piecemeal it now. So.
Yep. Like they've been promising for this past generation, so who knows if we actually get it for this one.
They just fucking did it on PC. Now you can uninstall the single player from PC now. They just did a patch. I think it's happening. So.
Which is like what, 1.2 gigs or terabytes or something?
Hey, space is space, man.
Whatever it helps.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for filling your gigabytes and terabytes with us this week, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Adios.
See you.